Whoop! Smooby, 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 smooby. Are we up? Are we talking? Are noises being made? It's been a while since I've done this before. It's been a while since I have done this. So I am a little rusty, guys, but I am back. What? Hey, British and Buttery, what is up? Meow. Welcome everyone to our 4,200 live. What's the word? Subscribers. That's the word. Hey, thank you, Cubs. Welcome. Jack Daniels, welcome, my man. How are you? I have been doing well, sir. So we are here again to celebrate the big 420 plus another zero. Wayne Cook, welcome. Ethan Pfeiffer, welcome as well. We are here to celebrate that 4,200. And the way we always do it, we do it with a little bit of panache. And by panache, I mean a shit ton of THC. So what do we have on the docket today, guys? Well, I have found the Korova 50, not 5150s, excuse me, the Korova Black Bars, my go-to 1,000 milligram edibles. I have not been able to find any. Yes, I am. And good to see you, buddy. Hey, good to see you, man. So good to see you, Carlos. It's been a long time. I am back. Oh, you bought Mario Kart. Nice. Yes, I have been away, guys, and I am so sorry that I have been away. I have been working on, we'll get all into this during the live stream here. Yes. So we'll get more into the details where I've been, what's coming up for Weeats, all that good stuff. But let's go back into what we'll be doing this evening. So all of the great Korovas out there, the 1,000 milligrammers, are gone. Korova isn't really dipping into the black market as some other companies still are. In the edible market, you can still find, whoops, kicked my computer there. You can still find plenty of things that are over the 100 milligram cap that's here in California. But Korova is not one of them. Korova is now strictly making everything legal by the book. In fact, Korova is even making flour. They have their own flour. I have some of it here. British and Buttery, good question. I actually am streaming from my Mac, so I don't have Twitch set up because I don't have Restream. So Korova has even moved over to the dark side. They're selling just straight up flour now in very, very, very fancy cases. I mean, this packaging is absolutely absurd. You don't need that much expensive packaging for some bud, but I mean, it really is beautiful. So what we are doing today is not the Korova. Oh, nice, Ethan. What we're doing today is the 1,000 milligram I can find. Cool, man. Thanks, Carlos. We'll see you again soon. See you on Twitch, man. Yes, so we are doing the Enjoyable Edibles 1,000 milligram Blackout Brownie. So it even has a similar name to our friends there at Korova. I find Enjoyable to be up and down. I find some of their products to be really good and some to be not so good. So we'll also be doing a little bit of a review on this 1,000 milligram edible in the meantime to see if it's worth its weight in salt. I picked this up in a dispensary in Wilmington, California, right next to Long Beach. Long Beach doesn't really have much in the way of black market dispensaries. They only have the legal dispensaries. I'm sure you can get them illegal stuff through black market stuff through delivery services. I know that still exists. But I went down to Wilmington where there are still tons of people willing to sell you black market edibles. And I picked this up for a pretty reasonable $40 for a 1,000 milligram edible. And if it really is 1,000 milligrams, $40 is a pretty good deal and something to really look forward to for those people who need that, higher medication, that higher dosage edible. Okay. Oh, yes. And Jack Daniels asked when we are going to release a new vid. That is a great question. And we are going to get all to that. New vids are coming. Oh, it is that British and Buttery. I just it should still be Who Farted. I just don't have it up right now. All right, let's get into this brownie. Let's get the show started here. If I could tear it open. All three of my dogs are in here with me. And if you guys haven't tuned in before, the studio has gone over some massive changes yet again, the Weeats HQ. But I like the setup now. Here, we'll give you a little tour. Maybe you can see the pups too. Here's the new studio. There's the old gumball machine you guys know and love. TV. There's a dog hiding down there. There's a dog hiding over there. And there's a dog right here. 3 dogs in this tiny little Weeats studio. Something's a little cramped in here. Don't have the AC on. Yes, Jack Daniels. I have gotten all 3 of, yes, Forerunner guy. I plan to do lots more cart reviews. And Josh, welcome to the stream, man. Glad you are here. So yes, gonna do more cart reviews. And Jack Daniels asks if I'm going to give any to my dogs because I have plenty. I will not be intentionally giving any to my dogs, but I have gotten all 3 of my dogs high accidentally at different points. The Great Dane, the big one right there, the big gray one, I got her super high. She ate a 250 milligram edible off a counter because she's tall enough to do so. My bad. And she got super high. I felt really, really bad, but she was high for about 36 hours. Like I had to carry her down the stairs kind of high. Hey, Mark, welcome, man. So glad you're here. How was the dog acting? She was, well, she's a couch potato to begin with. So Frog is a thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate that. So she snuck up, ate it, and then she just literally was immobilized for 36 hours. She couldn't move. She was just drooling, kind of glazed over in her eyes, just constantly drooling. So for about the next day and a half, my partner and I had to sort of carry her down the stairs and let her go pee, but she's fine now. She's been on a few other small trips in the meantime. All right. I have not. Oh, so Jack Daniels asks, we missed your videos. Thank you so much. Tell us our funny super stoner moments. I'll get to those. And have I tried ketamine since? I have not done any more ketamine since I took it back in May, but I am still very optimistic and positive about my experience with ketamine and would recommend anybody who has the resources and is willing to do something a little bit adventurous to try it. It's especially again, if you have any sort of, if you have problems with depression, it is a solution. It might not be for everybody, but it definitely works some miracles for me. So here is our blackout brownie. Yes, and I'm glad your dog is okay, Cubs. So glad to see, yes, and I'm so glad to see, Mark, that some of the old faces are here too. So glad to see all my old buddies. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely legit. The clinic I went to was really, really top of the line, very professional, it definitely seemed like a medical service instead of a drug trip. So I keep promising I'm going to take a bite of this. Let's do it. Ooh. Cakey. Wow. Shut your fucking mouth, Frog. God damn. Frog. All right. Thanks, David. I really appreciate that. And Nameless, welcome for being high. I have never heard of DXM, Jack Daniels. Never heard of DXM. I've heard of DMT, but wow. So Ethan says it tastes like a regular brownie. This is a very cakey style brownie. A lot less fudgy, considerably less fudgy than the Korova brownies. They're like those have a lot more fudgy sort of stick to your teeth. Crystal, welcome. We're glad you are here. So this one's much more cakey, much easier to get down. Like it just doesn't stick to your teeth. You don't have to. Hey, welcome. Great. So you don't have to sit there and lick it off your teeth, which is wonderful. It doesn't have nearly as strong of a cannabis taste as the Korova does, but that's not necessarily a good thing. It does have a cannabis taste, especially an aftertaste, but it doesn't have that just awful, just astringent, makes you want to lick sandpaper kind of taste that the 1,000 milligram Corobas do. I could definitely eat this whole thing and not feel like throwing up. It's not good. It's not good, but it's not terrible. And like always, I have my trusty Arnold Palmer here to wash all this shit down. Of course it is, Nameless. Hey, welcome. See, Afro Samurai. I am doing good, man. Wow, I will take a look for that, Jack Daniels. That's really great advice. Thank you. I had no idea. Drugs. Huh. All right. Wash that down. Now I was getting that aftertaste going. Woo! All right. Excuse me for a second. Oh no! Hey, whoa! Yes, I am going to be eating the whole bar, Afro Samurai. Or I'm going to try to. While we're waiting for the edible to kick in, let's do a little dab. I've got a nice new portable dabber here, the Puffco Plus. They did not pay me. I bought this with my own money. They didn't send me this. And I just thought I would do a couple quick dabbers while we're waiting for the edible to take effect. Thank you, G Money. I've worked the system. We'll say, you know, I've put in my hours. On the portable dab, I might do a video on it at some point. I actually wanted to break into, and I'll get into a little bit of this later. I really wanted to do some reviews of some hardware for weed stuff. For example, I've got a Volcano I would like to. I've got this Puffco Plus. I've got some other cool gear that I'd like to review. So I might do that in the future. So here's my Puffco Plus. It's a little oily on the inside, unfortunately, right now. Take my, what is this? Crumble, my Crumble here. OG Diesel, I believe, and just load it up. That's actually not the way you're supposed to load it. You're supposed to load it with this little dart thing right here. It's got a little dart. You rub it in your oils, put it there. Ceramic, tank, all that fun stuff. Light it up. And it's really cool. I like this for two reasons. It's got 3 different temperature settings, so you can vape it on any different temperatures. Or any 3 different temperatures for different, you know, taste variations or whatnot. And it also has a session mode where you can tap this little cloud button twice. We'll do that here. And that, oh, I got to turn it on first. And like all these, you turn it on, you hit it 5 times, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Crumble is just, by the way, Fear the Beard. It's just a different kind of wax. There's Shatter, Crumble. There's some other kinds. It's just a different way of distilling it. See you, British and Buttery. So here we go. We're going to put this in sesh mode. So you just tap this little thing twice here. And what this does is basically it keeps glowing and lets you know it's heating up. It basically does it like a whole dab. It basically heats up that entire chamber or close to it and gives it to you in one big puff. So you don't have to sit there and keep going on over and over again. Really like that session mode. So here we go. It's about to be done. Now we'll just do the whole thing. And I'm a cougher. All right. So Tweaktastic says they remember doing ketamine in school. Was great. Tweak, what were you doing ketamine in school for? Were you just doing it recreationally? Were you a vet? Did you have your hands on some actual horse tranquilizers? Who knows? But I have been down that K-hole now, and I do recommend it. It's an interesting experience. Oh, I guess I should get into this a little bit. Since my last live stream, I have also done LSD one time. No, twice, excuse me. And it doesn't, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely. I did not get any sort of hallucinations. I never got to that point. I'm not sure if I am entirely affected by hallucinogens in ways that most people are, but it still gave me a sort of an opening of the mind. Just sort of all the trippy hallucinogenic stuff never sort of came about. What dosage? Asked Jack Daniels. I did. That's a great question. I did 3 tabs, I believe. I don't actually know what the dosage was. Yeah, so I'm not sure. It was supposed to be a very high dose. I did a high dose the first time and a high dose the second time. Again, still really enjoyed the experience. Everybody else around me was having visuals and sort of more trippy, standard trippy experiences. That wasn't me, but I still really enjoyed the sort of opening of the mind that LSD presented. It's very different than ketamine. As different as weed is to alcohol, ketamine is to LSD. They're very, very different experiences. So Ethan asked, does he think the edibles kick in faster since it's 1,000 compared to 100? Probably not. I find the effects come on more when the effects do hit. They have obviously hit more intensely, of course, but I don't find that they necessarily come on any quicker. I still find it's sort of that same, about 45 minutes, and then it really starts to. Oh, well, I'm going to have to find some good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to take another bite of this blackout brownie here. We're probably about a third of the way through. Close to the half. Well, oh, yuck. Thank you, Beard. Wash it down with the Palmer. Ugh. Thank you, sport. Nom, nom, nom. I'm through. Ugh. Gross. Real gross. It's actually a little nastier now than when I first. The more I eat it, the grosser that sort of taste. Ooh, so bitter. Yeah, those first bites were almost. Whoo. When you eat something that's 1,000 milligrams, you're going to pay for it. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy anything that has 1,000 milligrams of THC in it. That's just a lesson for life for anybody. And I've dropped my dab tool on my carpet now, which is really unfortunate. If you do eat an edible that claims to have 1,000 milligrams in it, and you do enjoy it, you are not eating an edible that has 1,000 milligrams of THC in it. Just to let you know. Nicholas asked, "Do I watch Ice Poseidon?" I don't. I don't even know what Ice Poseidon is, Nicholas. Highest I ever got on edibles, asked Jack Daniels. Good question. The first time I did firecrackers was actually the highest I've ever been on edibles. I made firecrackers with my partner, had no idea what I was dosing. I had a big, a capsule, like an old weed capsule, like they put weed in. And I used that to store my AVB. And I didn't measure it out. I just poured a bunch of it on some Nutella and graham crackers, threw that in the oven, cooked it up, ate the nasty, nasty firecracker, then was like, oh, I'll go grab some dinner. So I went out to go pick up some food while my partner stayed home. And by the time I hit the checkout counter, I was like, this is not a good scene. I am higher than I have ever been in my life. I don't know how I'm going to get back to my house. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I don't even know how I'm going to order. Somehow I managed to, actually go up to the person and say the thing and count out the correct amount of cash to give him. Not that I really remember it. I just remember, I remember arriving at home. I don't actually remember walking home. I just remember arriving at home. My partner already passed out. And I just remember sitting on the couch going, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And leaving the food there on the coffee table, and then waking up about 12 hours later and realizing I just wasted a lot of money in food that I didn't get to eat. But it was still fun. So doing firecrackers for the first time, whoo! And Enrique asks, how many times have you done 1,000 milligrams in one go? This would be my 4th time, I believe. I do it all the time on live streaming. So it's just me. Mark says, is this a tried and trusted product? No, it is not. I have not done one of the Enjoyable Edibles 1,000 milligrammers before. So we're also going to find out if they're worth their weight or not. And Amiel says, in difference between milligrams and grams. And Fear the Beard says, answers that question for me. Holy shit. Tweaktastic says, I remember my first edible was at school, and that was 750 milligrams. Your first edible tweak was 750 milligrams. Holy Jesus. Now that is crazy. And then Jack Daniels asks, am I married? I've been married for about over 5 years now. Yes, I'm married. And Sport asks if I've ever done salvia. I have never done salvia. I know people who have done salvia. I've never had anybody ever describe it to me as a fun experience. Everybody who's ever done it has been like, that shit was intense, dude. Like, that shit was nuts. And not in a positive way, just like, you know, maybe I'm glad I did it, but I don't want to do it again. So that has kind of influenced my my decisions there. Whew. Wait, you're eating a brownie and vaping some wax. Oh, yes, I should, G-Money, but maybe not. You know, I have this incredibly, ridiculously high tolerance. And Aaron says, I'm new here. Do you love you? Of course we love you, Aaron. Jack Daniels says, any new carts I have tried? I have tried some new carts recently. Nothing that has blown my doors off. No, nothing that has really knocked me out of my world. I haven't tried to review any big brand name cartridges recently, or tried any of those because I'm saving those for reviews. So I've tried some smaller ones, some ones from smaller dispensaries or smaller producers, and have been, you know, had mixed feelings about them. Some of the first reviews that we will do in Weeats Season 3, which is what we're calling what comes next, Weeats Season 3, we're going to do the Pax Era, the Pax Pods. Like Steezy, Pax has their own. And I love Pax. Hey, welcome, Michael. So glad you are here. So glad you are here. Thank you. And Aaron says he has met The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Well, congratulations, man. Ooh, I might have to do that, Jack Daniels. Thank you. Yes, and Fear the Beard, pods are pricey. They are pricier than the cartridges for now. You generally pay about between 1/3 and 50% more for them. I find them leak a lot less. I find them to be generally tastier. And I find them to be like something like the Steezy to be a lot more discreet in terms of like hiding it. And I do think those prices are going to come down as the pods become, you know, sort of more mainstream. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot more in the pod space other than just Steezy and Pax, because it seems to be, those seem to be doing really well. So I bet we'll see some copycats in the near future. So Nameless wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how high am I right now? Nameless, I would say I am only at about a 3 at the moment, but it is rising. We'll take another brownie of that, bite of that brownie in just a second. What do you look like without a beard, says Aaron Reed. I look like I do now, just not as hairy. Jack Daniels says, oh, talking to Tweak. Hey, Nick. Hey, so good to see you back, man. No, I was a YouTube casualty, but ended up fighting my way back tooth and nail. or they just let me back, and then they ended up letting everybody back. What a weird time for everybody. Oh, of course, Mark. Of course, I'm going to be watching the stream. I'm super excited about the wedding. I'm getting really, really excited about seeing it. It's going to be a fun, fun time. I bet you are getting excited, my man. You're going to be married in a week. Oh my God. Yes, we will definitely be there. And Jack Daniels says, am I going to try WeedTube? I might start putting stuff on WeedTube. I don't know. I'll see how the platform kind of shakes out. I'm kind of lazy, so I haven't really put as much effort into as I want or need, but I would like to at some point. And then and Sick Boy wants to know, welcome, Sick Boy. We're glad you're here, by the way, man. I'm wondering if CBD edibles would be better than a CBD cream for back pain. And unfortunately, Sick Boy, I am not a CBD expert. I don't proclaim to be. I don't do dedicated CBD things very often. It's not what I'm looking for as much from not THC, obviously, because CBD and THC are different things, but it's not what I'm looking for so much from marijuana. I'm definitely more interested in the THC than the CBD, but I will put some feelers out there and let you know if I get a good answer from some of my CBD bros. All right, man. And have I ever read Mendacious Mold Bug? I don't think so, Michael. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? Jack Daniels asks, have I not been uploading because of laziness or something else? No, not laziness. We've been doing some brainstorming here at Weeats HQ. Reviews are still coming. Reviews are still going to be the same as always. Still going to be reviewing edibles, still reviewing cartridges, but we're thinking about new things for season 3, as we're calling it for Weeats. So we'll see. Oh, mendacious. It's not mendacious. Oh, Nameless says, I got to take another bite. I'm going to do it for you, Nameless. Here we go. Oh, and Steve Scott, I will be telling you about VR in just a second. Another bite time. This one's for you, Nameless. Woo. Okay. They are great, Steve Scott. I really like my... Oh, man, that is so bad. It really is worse with every bite. Oh. Whew. Get that shit down. So Steve Scott says he's got the same shatter pen. Awesome. And then he says he's been looking into a VR headset. Still loving mine? Still loving mine. I've got 3. That was 4. I've got 3 VR headsets. I've got the Oculus Rift, which is right behind me. I got a HTC Vive. And somewhere, the newest one to the collection, the Oculus Go. I haven't really messed with the Go very much, though, to be honest. I haven't had the time to mess with it as much as I would like. Okay, I need to catch up with the chat. Mark says, do I have any future plans to return to Twitch? Absolutely, Mark. We will be back to Twitch. We absolutely will. Just got to get some weird things figured out between the meantime. Hey, thank you, Freddie. Welcome. And Oren says, how am I feeling? I'm feeling about to the 4 level and rising. Musu, 3 away now. Musu, what do we know? What is it that we know? Yes, everything is exciting. And Steve, I would recommend, if you are thinking about getting into the VR space, go with the Oculus. The Vive has better tech for sure. The Vive is the tracking is a shit ton better on the Vive. But The Oculus has minor exclusives. They seem to be more, or Facebook seems to be more invested in VR than Valve does at this point, unfortunately. And it just seems to me the money in VR is still coming from the Oculus space, and things seem to be, I don't know, not doing so great on the HTC end. So if you're going to get a VR headset, I'd say go with the Rift, even though the tech on the Vive is definitely better. The tech being the tracking, the stuff behind the eyes is pretty much the same. And Jack Daniels says the edible is tasting worse. I don't know if it's actually tasting worse, Jack Daniels. I'm just being a big old bitch. It's just tasting gross, and I don't like the taste. And the more I eat of it, the more I like, ugh. Yes. Wait, I'm an animal abuser, says Musu. I'm not an animal abuser. I love animals. I'm an animal lover. Yeah, there's pups chilling in the background. There's lots of pups. And thank you for saying you're my hero. That's really kind of you, Patriot. And Codboy, welcome to the stream. I heard the dog give you doggy style in the ass. Oh, okay. Dogs do give you doggy style. Well, doggy style is not in the ass, Musu. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Doggy style is not anal. I mean, I guess it could be, but nothing wrong with doggy style. Absolutely, sport. And Nameless wants to smoke a blunt with a chimp. Ooh. Let's take another look at some dogs, guys, because dogs are really the most exciting things here, right? Hey, Joseph, welcome. Here's a blonde border collie pup. Say hi, Newt. Oh, wait, no, I'm not even getting her on the camera. There she is. And there's my knocked over light that I haven't bothered picking back up. Where's the other dog? There she is. Just chilling in the corner. Just chilling in the corner. So, Nameless, I want to know more about this smoking blunt with a chimp. Why do you want to smoke weed with a chimp? Chimps are cool, but chimps can also be straight up homicidal maniacs, dude. I don't know if weed chills them out or not, but I know personally for me, I don't, as cool as I think chimps are, I think I'm frankly a little scared of them. When chimps go apeshit, no pun intended, they fuck you up. I mean, there's that woman who literally had her face ripped off by a chimp. What was that documentary about the chimp raised in? That was out a couple of years ago. Really good. Yeah, chimps scary, man. But maybe weed mellows them out. What do I know? Joseph, the reviews are coming back. Oh, there is a video of a chimp taking a dab. And G-Money wants to know how long we're going to be live for. We're aiming for 3 hours, G-Money. We're aiming for a 3-hour stream tonight. And Michael, I would love to see something crazy. Lay it on me. Slump God, we have about a third to go. We have about a third of the brownie to go. We are 2/3 in, getting high. Oh boy, it is escalating. I would say I am moving on up to the 5-ish level. And ooh, it is feeling good. It is feeling good. And then Sport asks, is the brownie you're eating right now the 1,000 milligram? If so, what is it called? Yes, it is, Sport. And it is the Enjoyable Edibles 1,000 milligram blackout brownie. You can find this. They're still making it. Sorry. Oh, I keep saying this wrong. Wait, is Enjoy or is this TKO? No, it's Enjoy. It's Enjoy. This is Enjoyable Edibles. I was right. So Enjoyable Edibles. What a stupid name. Seems to Foreman's Basement. Welcome, buddy. So glad you are here. So glad you are here. They seem to basically not give a shit about these new regulations, and they are still pumping out edibles at well over 100 milligrams without any of the bullshit regulations. So that's good. And Michael says the shooter from Newtown called into a radio show and talked about the chimp that freaked out. Are you serious? What's his name? Adam Lanza called in about that? That's crazy. I had no idea. And then it's just me, Mark says, if you could smoke with one celeb, alive or dead, who would it be and why? I guess a celebrity. Yeah, I guess they would be a celebrity. I think I would want to get high with the physics professor, Richard Feynman. Brilliant guy, brilliant science communicator, a brilliant physicist. I mean, top of his games in both in terms of academic ability and communicative ability. He would be an amazing person to just sit down with and smoke some bowls and just listen to him talk for 2 hours. I listen to Richard Feynman talk about anything, and have him be a little loosey-goosey would just be the icing on the cake. Pour one out for my good boy, my old man, Richard Feynman. Love to meet you up in heaven that doesn't exist and smoke with you up there, boy. But if there is a heaven, you're going there. I mean, if there's a hell, you're going there because I'm certain you were an atheist, right? You had to be. Okay, so where are we at? Foreman's Basement's here. I'm so glad he's here. Oh my God. Cub says, Mark Carl Sagan. What a great answer. Carl Sagan is another person just like Richard Feynman. Two minds alike there, Cubs. High five across the internet. And Jack Daniels says, you feeling the edible yet? I am definitely feeling it. Definitely feeling it. And Jack Daniels is a celebrity that he would like to see or like to smoke with is John Lennon. Another amazing choice. I think we've all had really good choices here. Benjamin Franklin is another good one as well. And AJ Hill says, I have an Oculus. You might try using the app game Chromathesius Chromathesia, like synesthesia, music visualizer. I will definitely check that out, AJ Hill. That sounds amazing. Is that on the Rift or is that on the Oculus Go? I will check it out on either because it sounds really cool. And Jack Daniels says, what do you expect your number to reach to tonight? Jack, I would love to hit a 10. That's my goal. I'd love to be up there at a 10. I don't know if we're going to get there, but that's my goal. I'm going to guess I'm going to get between an 8 or a 9, but I hope to be at a 10. And Jeff Core says, I had the 1,000 milligram one time from Canico, and it wasn't that strong. Oh, I'm sorry they did not have a good time with Canico. Canico is usually very reliable, although I've never had one of their 1,000 milligrammers before. But I'm glad you're enjoying those flourishes. Those are amazing. Bobcat Goldthwait. Yes, I love Bobcat Goldthwait. He's still alive, Mark. Have you seen World's Greatest Dad, Mark? Bobcat Goldthwait directed a movie starring Robin Williams from 2009, I believe. It is a crazy good dark comedy. If you've never even heard of it, you're a Bobcat Goldthwait fan. I'm sure you know of it. If you haven't seen it, check out World's Greatest Dad starring Robin Williams from 2009. Speaking of, pour one out for your loved ones. And Joseph says, are you going away for 2 months? I'm back. I'm good. Videos will start rolling in soon. Eventually, we're going to hit Weeats season 3. We're going to do some small things between now and the build up for season 3. Some small reviews, some small videos, some small live streams, this, that, and the other. And we're building up to a season 3 launch in October. So where are we in the chat? I am way behind, guys. I am falling behind on this chat like crazy, and I apologize. I just love that answer of Bobcat Goldthwait. That's so good. And then Michael brings back up Adam Lanza. Oh, Jesus. And Kyle wants to know if the edible is hitting yet. It is definitely hitting. And Michael says, Marcus Aurelius as an answer, which is the even better answer. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest men, for sure. One of the greatest thinkers throughout history. Incredible answer. Jealous of that one. And Chad, I would also like to do that. Yes, in the future, I would like to do some comparative videos for sure. And Sport would like to know what gets me to a 10. Very little, very few things these days. Really, the last time I was at a solid 10 was probably sometime in 2017. I don't think I've hit a 10 in 2018. But usually edibles are the only way that I can get there. A 10 doesn't get you too high. Explain what a 10 feels like to us. I guess that's a really good point, Jack Daniels. That is a very, very, very good point. And let me get to that in just a second, but I want to move down the chat for just a second. And Jack, I'm going to get back to you because you're right about the 10 thing being too high. I guess the scale is variable for everyone. And Fernando wants to know if I am faded right now. I am getting faded. Fernando, we are about 2/3 of the way through the brownie. I'm about to go ahead and take this next bite. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to taste really gross. Not looking forward to it. Oh, ooh, whoo. And Wayne, you have a question I would like to get to. Mr. Cook. Whoo. Whew, so bad. All right. Wayne Cook asks, oh, first off, Derek, welcome, Derek. We're glad you're here, buddy. Thanks for joining in. And then Derek, Wayne does ask, have you ever thought about having guests on your videos? Yes, Wayne, all the time. Weeats would love to have some guests. Weeats would love to have some other kind of content. If you feel anybody out there in Chatland or watching this video later or watching this, whatever the case may be, if you want to share this with somebody else out there that you think is really, likes to talk about weed and thinks they have some interesting things to say, because they certainly can't be any less interesting about weed than I am. If you know anybody or if you are that person, hit me up, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you. We can try to work something out, see if we can expand the Weeats brand or whatever the case may be. So if you know anybody who's interested, let me know. And we do have things planned for other people coming in. And we do actually have some long lost interviews in the Weeats vaults that may have to stay in the Weeats vaults for legal reasons now, but we'll get there eventually. And Mark says, I hope he gets to an 11. I do too, man. I do too. And Jack Daniels says, 1 gram Canico is amazing. I wish I could find one. And wow, 10 to you was a fifth of a Canico piece. A 10 to me should. I've only ever been uncomfortably high once, and that was that time with firecrackers. Outside of maybe the very first time I smoked weed, and it just being weird. I don't think I've ever had a truly unpleasant experience. So I don't, outside of doing firecrackers for the first time, every other time I've been atmospherically high, excuse me. Every time I've been just, above the clouds high, it's still been totally enjoyable for me. So a 10 to me should feel like almost of course nothing like ego death or anything of that nature, but you should feel somewhat disconnected from reality. I think a 10 should feel like that you should feel some kind of break with your mind-body connection. You should be living in your mind should be in a different space, I guess. And that doesn't happen to me very often, but I really enjoy it every time it does. I like getting to that headspace. I really like getting to that headspace. I find some of my most interesting thinking comes when I get to that headspace. I just very rarely happen to get to that level, even with these 1,000 milligram edibles. Okay, so Jeff Core says, makes you want to buy some 1,000 milligram enjoyables right now. I would say at this point, after being 45 minutes in and being already as high as I am, the enjoyable edibles, 1,000 milligrams are pretty good. I'm not sure I don't think it's going to be as good as a Krova 1,000. We'll find out, but I'm already pretty high. I'm now past the 5 level. I'm getting up to the 6 territory. And really, I've only eaten about, I only ate about a third of that brownie at the start. So about 45 minutes in, I'm already feeling pretty good. So I'm kind of excited about this. Try a 1 grab dam, bro. I couldn't do a 1 gram dab. Sorry, Jack Daniels. I'm too much of a cougher. I don't have the lung capacity for that shit. Like doing dabs for me, I mean, doing any kind of combustible, like it's just not ever going to get me to where I want, because I just don't, like, I'm a cougher and I don't have the lung capacity. I don't know. And I don't know why I don't have the lung capacity. I can actually hold my breath for a decent period of time, but just weak lungs. And then Jeff Core asked if I'm in SoCal. Yes, sir. Southern California. Live proudly in Long Beach. Love my city. Yes, and Michael says, I think the problem is weed is not inherently interesting. Your thoughts on politics, religion, philosophy while on weed is what is interesting. And that is very true. Weed in and of itself does not make interesting thoughts. It just spurs you to, what would be a good way of describing it? It sort of enables connections that were not previously possible, opens pathways, neurological pathways, to different connections in your brain, so you can make all kinds of big leaps and connections that you were never able to make without the substance. At least I find that to be the case. And have I ever tried combining edibles with kratom? No, I have not. Largely because kratom upsets my stomach. I get a little nauseous on kratom always. But then again, maybe the edibles would be perfect for that, because it should also help with the nausea. But never mix them. I might still. I have a shit ton of kratom left. I have a shit ton. I haven't done it in like 6 months, but I have a ton of it. And Steve Scott said he had a 200 milligram weed freezy yesterday. Ooh, a 200 milligram. What is a weed, like a popsicle? That sounds good. I've never had a frozen edible. Yes, like you're blasting off in a rocket. Oh, that's awesome, Wayne. That's so cool that you go all out to Colorado. That's really cool. Hey, Demi, welcome. And I take that as a compliment, being called Jesus. A lot of people like that guy. Seems to have, a lot of followers. Still 1 billion people like him, so thank you. And thank you, Richard. I really appreciate that. Okay, then, highest dab bud dosage you've ever tried. I mean, Jack Daniels, I would say the biggest dab I've ever done in one go is probably a fifth of a gram. I've done a fifth of a gram in a go before. And that doesn't actually get me that high. I mean, it really doesn't. It gets me high for a little bit, but it fades very quickly, and it doesn't ever get me to the levels that edibles do. Edibles, they fuck with your tolerance, man. They definitely fuck you with your tolerance. And I appreciate the kind words there, Richard, as you said, and I already said. Ever visited anywhere else in the USA? Jack Daniels, I have visited pretty much everywhere in the United States. I think I've been to every state other than Maine and Alaska and Hawaii. I've been to every contiguous state other than Maine. And Calmas wants to know if I am in the hood. I don't think Long Beach is the hood. It used to be. I don't think it is anymore. I love where I live. I'm very proud of my city. I love Long Beach. But I don't know if I would classify it as quote unquote the hood. And I'm glad to see you live in Bellflower, man. Bellflower is a cool place. Sergio, of course, dude. We'll have to do a Weeats meetup. We'll get all the SoCal crew up, and we'll because pretty soon Long Beach is going to get places where you can smoke indoors, like coffee shop type things. I believe that is the case. Oh, Hidden Hills, LA, Jackie D. Well, that's not too far at all. And Barely Functional wants to know how barely functional I am right now. And the scale is, I would say I'm at about a 6 and still rising. And Jack Daniels, have I ever visited downtown LA? I'm in downtown LA all the time. Most recently, I was there last Saturday to go see Rah Rah Riot, a band I love, and I'll be there again in a couple weeks to go see another band of some kind. Always in downtown LA. Love it. And have I lived anywhere else in the U.S.? Well, I lived in East Tennessee for about 25 years of my life, and have lived in Southern California for only about 3. So only really lived in 2 places. I just had family that loved to travel, at least in the United States growing up. So I've been everywhere. Hey, from New Jersey. Welcome, Artie. So glad you're here. And Mark wants to know what's my personal preference: bong, blunt, dab, etc. If it's not edibles, Mark, my favorite way is, without a doubt, and I think you can see it there in the background, is my trusty, beloved, somewhere, move my chair, Volcano. There it is. I'm doing this backwards. Yes, I love to vape using my Volcano. Love my Volcano. It is without a doubt my favorite way to do combustibles, bar none. Behind that would probably be just a standard old water pipe, your old-fashioned bong, and then dabs probably behind that. What are some fire shops in LA for the low? I don't know very good ones in LA. LA's, Jesus, the weed world in California is in a weird place right now, guys. It's just in a weird place. After July, all the new regulations went into effect, and it is bizarre to see all these dispensaries struggling, trying to go legit, but it's very difficult to go legit. They make it very extremely difficult to go legit. And there are still a shit ton. Maybe the bulk. I don't know. I literally don't know. But maybe the bulk of purchases are still black market, especially here in Long Beach. If you go to Weed Maps, go to Weed Maps, look in Long Beach, and just look at deliveries. Almost all of those delivery services are black market. I would say, I don't know of any that are legal. You can just tell by what products they offer. If they're offering edibles that are over 100 milligrams, they are not operating legally. And most of the delivery dispensaries here in Long Beach are they're still offering, some cushy punches and some, things from that are, before, or even these, like these enjoyable edibles. This is a thing that was produced after the cutoff, and they just don't give a shit. They're just going to keep making black market products, which I love them for. God bless them for it. I hope more people continue to just say, fuck this stupid regulation. We're just going to keep making the same way we've always made. But it's not just edibles. The actual flower now has like a track and trace system. So like every ounce of weed or every gram of weed is like tracked and traced throughout the state. It's really ridiculous. And people are just sort of figuring it out as they go. And I'm guessing 2 years from now, California is going to look very different in terms of the weed market. Because I assume a lot of the shit that's going on right now is not going to continue flying because it's just too expensive. It's just going to keep the black market up and running, and that is not good for California. So I assume there's going to be some push and pull over the next couple of years, and we're going to see some drastic swings in these regulations. But that's just me. And let's go back here to the chat. And Black Mariner wants to know where the hell I've been. Great question. I have been away, coming up with ideas, busy with work stuff. But we are back. We're going to be low end on the content spout for a while. We're going to be doing plenty of live streams and stuff. But in terms of a lot of the content, reviews will be a little bit sparse for the next month until we get our content bulk back up for the launch of Weeats Season 3 in October. Fingers crossed. Okay. Countless Pones, welcome. Countless, sorry, I have consumed about 4/5 of the brownie. I have just this lateral corner left. I am out to about a 6.5 in terms of highness and rising, getting pretty high, living pretty good. And Jeff Cord wants to know if I eat the brownies on an empty or full stomach. Always on an mostly empty stomach. I find edibles to be on a full stomach to be not as potent, so I try to eat on a not totally empty stomach, but at least I haven't eaten a big meal recently. So how was it growing up in East Tennessee? Jack Daniels, it sucks. East Tennessee is a terrible place. Nobody should ever live there. Oh, and sports says hardly hear of people moving to Cali. Everyone wants to leave. I elected to move here. I wanted to move to California. I wanted to be in this state. It was a choice. I wanted to be out of backwards ass Tennessee. Knoxville is not a bad city where I come from. They're good people. There are some interesting things happening, but really the state is just full of monstrous, horrible, backwards ass people, and I could not be happier to be gone. Love California though. Oh, I've never tried Jungle Boys. I have tried canned weed though, Jack Daniels. I have tried nitrogen sealed canned weed. Thought it was pretty good. So let me get back up the chat. Michael says eat is pussy. Okay. Willy Wonka, thank you for saying that. And welcome from San Diego. Yes, and the taxes are too high in California. They are ridiculously too high. The prices for weed, for legal weed right now in California are almost laughable. They're going to have to get this shit figured out unless they just want the black market to continue to thrive. Mark wants me to do the bless the brownie in one go. Let's do it. Have Care Bear pieces on them. No, I have not, Ben Carnat. I have not heard of the Care Bear gummy brown or gummies. I would be wary of them. Gummies are usually not the best. But if you've heard good things, maybe worth a try. Okay, so let us, before I finish this, Mark, I'm going to do this for you. And real quick, Wayne Cook, to answer your question, I have found a legitimately great gummy. It's called Flourish out here in California. Hopefully they'll be in Colorado soon, so you can try them on your next trip, Wayne. But Flourish is a legitimately great gummy. And I'll get back into the weed talk. But for Mark, this one's for you. This one's for you and Candy for your upcoming nuptials. One bite? Do it all in one bite? All right, here we go. Johnny Mr. Hattersmith wants to know, do I pick my nose? Yes, of course. And peace from the jelly bean cough drop center of the world. Whoa, cool. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, down the hatch. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Hi, Frog. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, Frog, come for me, girl. Come, girl, come for me. I'm almost through. Oh. Fuck. Yuck! No! Jesus Christ. Ugh. Okay. Mega 64, welcome, buddy. Welcome. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, nice, Wayne. I'm glad to see that. All right. So I need to get back to this chat. I'm way behind on the chat. Does my husband / wife don't know if you're gay or straight? I'll leave that a mystery. But my partner, my spouse, my beloved spouse, does not do any kind of marijuana, but they very supportive of. I'm still really curious why Johnny Mr. Hattersmith wants to know if I pick my nose, but the answer is yes. And anybody who says they don't pick their nose, you know what they are? A liar. Duh. That tasted awful, by the way. So bad. So bad. And Austin, welcome to the chat. What did you miss? You just missed me eat the last bite of that fucking awful brownie. So bad. Woo! And Jeff wants to know, why do all these edibles taste like shit? Not all edibles taste like shit. All 1,000 milligram edibles definitely taste like shit, though. You just have to. I mean, you just can't pack that much. Oh, man. I keep burping it up. Whew. I am really curious why Musu keeps calling me an animal abuser. That makes me feel sad. I love animals. All right. So where are we? Richard wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate Orchid Essentials on how good it is compared to other vapes and how you can taste the actual taste of the weed that came from it. Orchid is incredible. Orchid is my favorite, probably my favorite actual cartridge. I think I like the pod system better. It is as good in terms of like terpene flavor profile as any cartridges I've ever had. I mean, truly flawless and about the most potent cartridges out there. If you see them, grab them. Cannot speak for Orchid highly enough. And okay, let's see. Austin wants to know how long it'll take for that brownie to kick in. Austin, it's already kicking in because I already ate most of it before that point. I'm up to about a 7 now. And then Willy Wonka says, usually the terrible tasting ones get you pretty high. Yes, that is the good part, Willy Wonka, is that there's pain. You get gains from your pain, right? Is that the phrase? No pain, no gain, something I can't remember. What the fuck? Yes, if it tastes like shit, it usually is a good sign that you're going to get pretty blazed. I want to, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, by the way. And I want to, just, hit up my boy Mega 64 real quick and say, Mega 64, you're going to have to come back out to Southern California at some point soon because, we're launching a new venture. Oh, let's go ahead and talk about this right now. And I'm sweating. Look at this, guys. I've got like a legit sweat stain. Jesus. I'm sweating because I can't turn on my AC because I don't want to make this noise. I'm sweating. Mega 64, Southern California. Let me talk about my new venture, by the way. This is part of the thing why I've been gone. I've been working on something new, not a new video thing. It is a new social thing for out here in Southern California. I'm starting a new, I'm going to be starting a meetup group here in SoCal, more for the Long Beach area. I'll be setting it up very soon. We've done some test runs and everything looks good. 2 Pico projectors, 2 screens, 2 switches, and a big ass battery generator. And the goal is night beach switch. The meetup is I get people together. We meet up on the beach at nighttime. I bring 2 projectors and we play local multiplayer games on the beach at nighttime here in Long Beach. Really looking forward to it. Using some really cool tech. Check out Nebula Anchor. Is that how you say it? Anchor Nebula projectors. They're amazing. Love them. So we're getting ready. We're going to play some Mario Kart, all the good stuff. But really, we're waiting for Smash Brothers. And then we're going to be doing Smash Brothers tournaments and stuff on the beach come December. So really looking forward to that. Oh boy, I am way behind on chat. Michael wants to says, do you think consuming massive amounts of marijuana made me gay? No, I think what made me gay was the freaking frogs, right? The freaking frogs turned me gay. If my boy Alex Jones is correct. One love. Yes, British and Butter, you said it was good on your first bite. That is the crazy thing. It got way worse as time went along. It got way, way, way worse. And now I can just taste, and now I just have that awful aftertaste in my mouth. Woo! Austin asked, what's the best thing to do in your experience when you're uncomfortably super high? And I have the perfect answer for this. It is to see a 4DX movie. What is a 4DX movie, you say? A 4DX movie is, say, for example, Mission Impossible, the most recent Mission Impossible. It's like Mission Impossible, but as if it were an amusement park ride. Your seats move, they vibrate, water shoots at you, there's lightning, there's smoke and fog. It's awesome. If you're too high, it is so scary, but it is one of the best experiences you'll ever have because I've done it too high many times and loved it every time. Do it. Let's see. Oh, where am I? Where am I on this chat? Okay, I might be caught up here. Have I tried the Pax Era Pods? Willy Wonka, not yet. They are going to be one of the first reviews we are going to be doing coming back here on in Weeats Season 3. So look for that in October. I'm very excited. I love Pax as a dry herbal vape. I have both the Pax 1 and 2 and love them a lot, like them a whole lot. So I'm really looking forward to the pods because I think Steezy's great and I think Pax makes great products. So I am very excited. And then Austin wants to know if we can do a 1 to 10 comparison on Steezy and like mini review comparison to other cartridges. We can do something like that in the future for sure. And Shadow Bear wants to know why he is not getting high anymore. Shadow Bear, my best piece of advice and something that will certainly help. Take a tolerance break. 72 hours can be enough for a decent reset, but if you take like a 2-week tolerance break, Shadow Bear, it's going to be like you're smoking for the first time all over again. Just take a couple weeks off, come back to it, and you will start to feel high again. I promise. All right, so where are we at? Do you think the desire to alter mental states often is a reflection on your personal reflection and state of quality of your life? If so, should this be addressed? Perhaps. So do I think my desire to get high all the time is, does it reflect on my mental health? Is that the question? Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, it's usually not healthy to be high as often as I am. That is not usually a sign of a healthy lifestyle, but I feel like I'm living a pretty good life, but maybe not. All right. Peyton says, just got here. What did you miss? You missed me eat the whole brownie, but you have not missed me getting increasingly high because I am at a 7.5 now, maybe, and going up. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? All right. Okay. So I think I am now at where the part in the chat where I told you guys that I'm making some cool outside video game stuff. I do know how to do that, Ben. I just haven't done it. Nice. Nice. All right. And then somebody says, why are people so worried about your private life? Not sure. Good question, Wayne. And Jeff wants to know if I play PC games. Jeff, I play mostly only PC games. Well, that's not true. I play actually a fuck ton of Switch, and I have a PS4 and Xbox One. But PC is where I do most of my gaming. You can find me on Steam at Who Varted, AWHOVRTED. WHOVRTED, right? Who'varted. Check me out. Add me. Later, meow. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. And then Jack Daniels, what's my sexual orientation? I am straight. I'm straight. I am straight. Not. I mean, if I was gay, I would have loved to have been gay. Was that weird? That's a weird thing to say. I would have been happy to have been born gay. I just happened to be straight. And Jack wants to know, does weed affect my professional life at all? Just curious as to know, professional looking. I would say not at all. It does not affect my professional life in the slightest. And sometimes, well, I can't say that for absolute certainty because I haven't not been doing weed long enough in my professional life to compare. But I know that sometimes doing some weed can actually inspire some things in my professional life. So, you know, you take some, you lose some. Oh, well, thank you for saying that, Michael. Richard, I don't know. I've only done a couple of the different varieties of the orchid. I've done the Jack Herrera, and what indica did I do? I can't remember. I've only tried them twice. Once for review and then once just for personal enjoyment. And I enjoyed the flavors immensely both times, but I can't remember what the indica variety was. But I know the Jack Herrera was excellent. One of the best tasting Jacks I've ever had. Nice. Wayne, that's so cool. I'm glad, man. That's really cool. Oh, that's so nice to see. Oh, and Steve says, I've been trapped in Skyrim on Switch for what seems like way too long, but I'm loving it. Steve, I am the same way. I actually got trapped on Skyrim on the Switch. I put about 25 hours into it and was loving replaying it on the Switch. I had a blast. That was until I got a PSVR and then put about 100 hours into Skyrim VR. So I literally played it on the Switch and then got it for PlayStation VR and then was like, oh, goodbye, Switch version. And then played the same game again for another 100 hours in a row after playing, 100 hours of it back in 2011. But I would recommend playing it in VR. I've not played it on PC VR. I've only played it on the shitty PSVR, and it was still amazing. It was incredible, actually. I was really impressed with Skyrim VR. Actually, really, really genuinely impressed. More so than I expected to be. I actually found it more playable than Fallout VR when Fallout first came out. I have not played Skyrim on PC VR since it has come out, even though I would like to. I just might need a little bit of a break from it. I've put a lot of hours in. Wait, what? Michael says born gay is not a real position. I'll address that in a moment. And Austin wants to know favorite Steezy cartridge. For sativa, it's always going to be the Jack. For indica, I don't really have a favorite. I actually couldn't tell you my favorite. I tried a bunch of them. I like them all. I just know when I go to sativa, I like Jack Herrera the most. In indica strains, I don't really have indica. I'm really not even that much of an indica sativa differentiator. I'm not as nuanced on that as many are. And when it comes to different strains between indica and sativa, I'm really, really fuzzy. That's why I like edibles. So they all sort of come out even in the wash, I guess. Okay. And in the meantime, I want to give another quick shout out to my boy Mega64 in chat and say, Mega64, have you played Slay the Spire yet? My God. Also, anybody in chat, if you are looking for a PC game that will nourish your soul, that will redefine your life, play Slay the Spire, man. That is the most playtime I have ever had on a video game, a card game. of all things. I have, between my partner and I, we have like 270 hours of Slay the Spire, a $16 Steam game. It's unreal. I love it. Slay the Spire. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out for sure. And Jack Daniels says, yes, I don't do crazy amounts of weed when I'm going to do work. Like I would never do this and then sit down to write something. No, that would not work. I can, I can take a bowl with me and smoke smoke some bowls while I'm working. Totally fine. But I would never venture to try something like this and try to do some serious work. And Barely Functional says, you handle being high better than I get slow and forget everything. I am forgetting plenty, Barely Functional. So don't give me too much credit just yet. I'm definitely forgetting plenty. And I'm losing track of my thoughts. But I can pretty confidently say, I am one of the best operators in the world. Being crazy high. Like, I would love to be in a competition. I would love somebody set this up for me out there in comments land or in chat land. Whoever's watching this video. If anybody out there, I don't know what my limit is. I literally have no idea at this point what my upper stratosphere is. I don't have a clue. If there's somebody out there who has a similar tolerance, I don't know of anybody who has a tolerance like me. I mean, to be entirely frank, I seem to be alone in this level of this stratosphere of tolerance, and Weeats is partially responsible for that. But it would be immensely satisfying to me to do some kind of like a competition, like a day-long edible competition, and then have some kind of to prove your worth. In addition to just being able to consume it, you have to function still. So you would set up some kind of man, I am struggling to get this word out. I cannot think of the word. You'd have some like educational tests. That's not the right word I'm trying to come up with. You would make some metrics at the start. You would basically have people do 2 similar academic tests or whatever, and then after doing 1,000 milligrams, compare their tests. After doing 2,000 milligrams, have them take a test again, compare those tests, and just have somebody go on and on. I'd love to have that set up. I think that'd be a blast. I just don't know anybody else who's doing 1,000 milligrams in a single pop. So I don't know. If you know somebody, let me know. And Jack Daniels says, let me get back to chat here, guys. Woo! I am way behind on chat. Way behind. And Steve says, nice, gotta take the VR plunge. You do. Am I still doing ketamine treatments? I am finished with my ketamine treatments. It was a series of 6, so I've done all 6 of them. Weeats wants to, or Shadow Bear wants to know, is it possible for other brands to copy other brands like the package and cart, but just not the potency? Shadow Bear, it's absolutely possible in California. Reason being is most of these are black market products and they are not copywritten. They are not protected in any way, shape, or form. There is no logo protection for enjoyable edibles. They have no copyright protection because this is a black market product. If I want to tomorrow, I could make this exact same packaging, exact same everything, and make the product, and they couldn't do shit about it. I mean, that's just, that's part of being in the black market. So absolutely, there are counterfeit products out there for sure. I know in brass knuckles cartridges, a lot of unscrupulous dispensary owners will fill that shit up with their homemade wax or whatever and resell the pens for at an exorbitant markup. So you do actually have to watch out for counterfeiting. I don't know if it ever happened in the edible world. I don't know if anybody ever like copied Korova or Kiva or anything like that. Not to my knowledge, I don't think it happened, but I know it happens with cartridges and other things too. You know, there's all kinds of just like selling up of, you know, one strain being another and charging more for it and yada, yada, yada. So, Jack Daniels wants to know if I smoke Granddaddy Perp versus Haze, you feel the same? That's actually pretty true for me. I do notice some difference, I believe, between indica and sativa, although it is not very different for me. Not remarkably pronounced, the difference. But between strain to strain, I really struggle telling much of a difference. I just, yeah. I'm the same way with, I don't find any nuances in like alcohol or anything else. Like it's just all kind of the same to me. I mean, not that alcohol and weed are the same, but when drinking different spirits and things don't affect me differently. Mega 64 says, still not yet. He still has not played Slay the Spire. Mega 64, it is coming to Switch at some point, so you have that to look forward to. And what are my top 3 cartridge brands and pods, says Austin. Number 1 is Steezy. Number 2 is Orchid. And number 3 is Heavy Hitters. So in that order. Number 1, Steezy. Number 2, Orchid. Number 3, Heavy Hitters. I think Heavy Hitters are better than the thing that they were created to rip off, Brass Knuckles. I think Heavy Hitters are much better than Brass Knuckles. That's just me. Willy Wonka gives a recommendation for Pax Era Pod, which I will be trying that one. Thank you. And let's see, where are we at? And Michael says, here is your competition to prove your highness. Talk about something that is not pot or video game related. I like that challenge. Let me get through the chat here and then I will go through it. Okay. What if you ate 2 1,000 milligrams brownies simultaneously at the same time? Austin, I would get very high, but I don't think I would get, I don't think I have it in me to get to like the panic attack level. I think I would just go to sleep. Like, I'm just accustomed to it. Like, I know what being too high is, and I know you can just go to sleep. So, yeah, I don't think 2,000 milligram brownies would make me really that crazy. I don't know. I've never tried pushing it to that limit before. For one reason is it's just fucking expensive. Like, 2 of these brownies would cost $80, and like I don't want to spend $80 just to realize that, oh my god, it's going to make me feel like shit. But maybe for a future video. Jeff says his tolerance is pretty high. And Weeats, Steve says, want to dive into a game tonight? Maybe, Steve. We'll see where I'm at after this live stream and see if I'm still cogent enough to play some games. Okay. Yes, I would love to put out there Okay, so Jeff Core says he pops thousands. So Jeff Core's up there. Jeff, thank you. I was glad to know out there. And the only one to hit them hard was the Korova Black Bar. Yes, the Korova Black Bar is an utter monster. A monster. A legend. A total legend, and deserves its legend. It really sucks now that they've repurposed that name for they're just like 100 milligram edibles. They should have saved that name, the Black Bar. So let's see, where am I at? White Stasis wants to know where I have been. I have just been busy. Sorry. Been a lot of things going on in life, but we are going to be back. The content drip will still be a little slow coming for the next little bit until we get to October, when we are going to be launching Weeats Season 3 proper. Yeah. I hear you, Jeff. It's really sad. It's so sad the black bars are going to be gone. But this is not a black bar. An hour and 20 minutes in. This will get you super high still. I am on my way to getting super high from this, and I'm feeling pretty happy about that. And guys, I might have turned the AC on just because I'm sweating so much, and I'm sorry about the noise. I'm really sorry about this. I'm so sorry. Okay. And Rove is good stuff, Shadow Bear. I really like Rove. Rove makes really quality, affordable cartridges. They are not nearly as expensive as, your brass knuckles or your heavy hitters or your orchids, but they're still really good tasting and pretty potent. Jack Daniels, thank you, Nitro Splicer. Thank you. See you, Shadow Bearer. Thanks so much for joining in. And thank you for the congrats there, Nitro Splicer. And Jack Daniels, to answer your question about eating that many cookies, it's terrible. It's ridiculous that's where we have to go. I assume mini cookies are not going to exist for very long, or they'll become the trend of mini cookies is going to go away. Because right now that is what everybody in the edible space is doing, is they're just going mini cookies routes. It's not the edible customers are in this, edible customers. And I promise whoever said stop talking about weed and video games, I will be talking about something else after this. But let me get this rant off my chest for a second. There are only really two types of edible customers. First timers, somebody who's coming to the state who's like, oh, I want to try an edible and get fucked up. And people who have a very high tolerance. The exact opposite ends of the scale, right? Those are the two people who want edibles. People who've never done weed before and don't want to smoke and want to get fucked up. And people who have a very high tolerance and want an easy way to get medicated that doesn't require, burning out your lungs or whatever the case may be. And the edibles market now literally only serves that one end of that market, which is the first timers. But the much more lucrative end of that market is the people with the high tolerances. They're the ones who are buying the majority of those edibles. They're the ones buying the overwhelming majority of, especially the potent edible products out there, are people with super high tolerances. And now they have really nowhere else to turn. And that market is going to start to dry up really fast. As I said at the very beginning, Korova is now out there doing flour. They're making flour. My guess is because of lost revenue or what projected lost revenue for edibles. I haven't bought any Korova products since I stopped reviewing them back in around April when I had reviewed most of their first wave of new products coming out. Because I don't want to eat 10 little mini cookies to get a little bit high. That's insane. And it's like $20. And I think the edibles market, the legal edibles market is going to shrink. It's going to contract quite a bit. And we're going to be left with just a few players fighting for, one mini cookie model and one gummy model or something. And it's going to be a sad hellscape in a little bit, unless those regulations start to change. All right, man. So where are we at? Have I ever tried the ketamine nose spray? No, Ed. The ketamine I did was all intravenous. I never tried anything through the nose, and it was administered by a doctor. And it does. They do need to get rid of it all. They need to get rid of it all. Not all the regulations. I actually think some of the regulations are great, and I actually am I'm actually somewhat pro-regulation of the edible market. I'm famously on record bitching about how shitty things were even last year in the edibles world, because there was just so much chicanery going on and just, flagrant lying, puffery. And that will go away, because everything has to be lab tested. So really everything will be truthful, and that will be great for consumers. but it sucks that they, they have no choice. Basically, they can trust what they get. But they have no say in what they get. But ironically, the black market's still going to be flourishing with shitty products out there lying about their, percentages and whatnot anyways. So who knows? Let's see. Willy Wonka wants to know, have you ever played Forsaken World on Perfect World Entertainment? I have not, and I'm not even sure what that is, Willy Wonka. Let me know. I will check it out. Yes, Sally O'Malley, I hear you. Sally O'Malley says, I want to medicate hard and for a long period of time. Smoking wears off too quickly. Exactly, Sally O'Malley. Who wants to keep sitting somewhere smoking over and over again to reach the same point when you can just eat something and be done with it? That's exactly the way I feel. All right. Yes, Jeff, thank you, man. I hope to see you one day too. Later, man. Have a good night, Jack Daniels. Thanks for jocking in, man. All right. Best Jungle Boys weeds are the best to buy. I will check out Jungle Boys. Thank you for the recommendation, Richard. Ooh, Chernobyl. That is a scary name, Viggs. Chernobyl is a name of something I don't think I would want to put in my body. And Barely Functional says, I agree that we need some regulation, but damn it that they went too far and ruined good things. Incredibly true. But what can you expect from government, right? If not overreaction, what kind of reaction can you expect? Only overreaction. Just put in Forsaken World and check it out. And just in my search bar, Forsaken World. It's an MMO of some kind. Ooh. Featuring vampires and hardcore PvP. I might have to check it out. And then a Sweet Butterfly says, Mr. Weeats, have you ever infused a full gram of wax into shatter into an edible? And what is your recipe technique of choice? I have not, believe it or not. I have never infused actual wax or shatter into edibles. Actually, I've done some making of edibles, but not as much as you would expect. I would check out some of the other people here on YouTube for those recipes. There are some great people out here on YouTube making things with oil, resin, and wax. I'd check them out. I'm sorry, I can't be more help, but I want to make sure you get yourself a good recipe, and I am not the go-to guy for that, unfortunately. And Frank Castle says, welcome, by the way, Punisher, and says, do you ever make your own edibles? Just answer that very, very rarely. Not as often as I should. I would like to get into it more. I just don't have a very big kitchen, and I'm also I'm terrible in the kitchen. I'm just not good at, I have no sense of, I know it's a learned skill and I'm making excuses, but I really don't have any sense of making things in the kitchen. I'm bad at it. But I would like to do it more, especially if I had a nicer kitchen. All right, Mark, have a good night, man. We'll see you soon. Thank you for hanging out, buddy. We will talk to you soon, or I will see you, talk to you next week, if not before. Later, dude. And Michael wants to know, have I ever read DFW? Have I ever read DFW? I have read all of his essays, and I have read the first 300 pages of Infinite Jest twice, and have never made it past that point, and it is something I am very, very, very embarrassed about. I love David Foster Wallace's essays. I think he is probably the best essayist. He's probably my personal favorite essayist ever. I don't know anybody who writes anything better than Consider the Lobster or Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again. What's the Angry Men one? That's probably my favorite collection of his essays. The one about men that are angry or something. Incredible collection of essays. David Foster Wallace. Better than his fiction. I've never read any of his fiction other than 300 pages of Infinite Jest twice, which I failed. But I love his essays. And Black Manor says he finally watched Isle of Dogs. Congrats. What a great, great movie. Absolutely love it. My God, Wes Anderson knows how to make a movie. There was some part about me. Oh, Kappa. Hey, what is up, Kappa? How are you doing, man? How's life? Are things with the permitting going? I remember last time it was in a bit of a state of limbo, but that was a couple of months ago. So Michael, are you saying get back to it with Infinite Jest? Like I should get back to Infinite Jest? Yes, brief interviews with hideous men. That's it, Michael. Love that one. That's my favorite collection of his essays. And Ed wants to know if anybody has ever told me that I sound like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. That is awesome. LOL. It is weird that you say that, Ed, because nobody has ever said that I sound like Shaggy, but people say that my voice is going hoarse because I haven't done this in a while. So that's a small excuse, and I'll use that. My voice is starting to go a little bit hoarse because I've been talking for so long, and I haven't done these live streams since the late April, so my voice is a little hoarse. But people all the time tell me that I sound like I sound like I'm on radio. Like people will ask me, like, "Oh, do you do the radio? Your voice sounds familiar. Are you a guy? Are you a DJ or what's because your voice sounds familiar." And I find that strange because Shaggy, in case you don't know, was Casey Kasem, the most famous DJ perhaps ever. The top 40 guy for years and years and years was Casey Kasem, and he's a big famous radio guy. And I'm not sure if that is weird to anybody else, but I made that connection. So THC Temple, why did your other YouTube channel get banned? I'm sorry, Kappa, what happened, man? Modesto wants to know, has the edible kicked in? Boy, howdy, has it. I would say I am up to I'm definitely in the 8 range now and having a really good time chatting with everybody. So yeah, I'm quite high. I am quite high. The edible is definitely kicked in. I did know that, Michael. I did know that for sure. I know that that was John Krasinski's first movie, and it's not very good. I saw it way back in 2009, I think it's 2008 or 2009 when it came out. Did not like it. I'm so glad to see that Mr. Krasinski has gone on to do such better things, including this year's great horror movie, A Quiet Place. I hope people still like that movie. I hope the internet doesn't hate that movie. I don't know. I found it quite good. The reviews were quite good at the time. I don't know where the internet backlash cycle is on it, because I find there's a sort of cycle to internet love of things. There's a big love, then comes the backlash, then comes the counter backlash, then comes the love, and then ultimately the opinion is the thing is overrated. And then everything sort of falls into that mold. And I don't know if A Quiet Place has gone through that entire cycle, or if it even got hit in the ringer, if it was popular enough to have been put there. It made a lot of money, so it seems like it should. Oh, guys, also, I don't know if you know this. I do have an X-Men power, and I can show it off for you right here, right now. I have a strange ability. If you give me a movie that has come out since the year 2001 and has made at least $50 million at the box office, I can give you the year it came out. Just try me. And I won't use my fingers. Okay. Sorry. That was a lot of ranting. Black Mander says more like the Roger Lodge voice. I don't know who Roger Lodge is, but now I'm curious. I'll look him up. And Ed Brissett says, oh, yes, that's who you sound like. Awesome. Very cool. Oh my God, Michael! No, I did not. I did not recognize your name as a character from Infinite Jest. Are you one of the kids from the tennis school, or one from the debate thing? Or I really have failed reading that book twice. I mean, like, it has kicked my ass. I fucking hate those footnotes to no end. It's too weird. It's too weird for me. It's too. And I have read The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, and that wasn't too weird for me. But I cannot make Infinite Jest work for me. I cannot put it together, man. So Frank Castle says, "What games do you play while stoned?" What games do I play while stoned? I'd like to play things like Slay the Spire, which we talked about before. I don't like playing anything competitive while high, for sure. I like to play things where the turn structure is very loose. Things like what I was saying, Slay the Spire, where there's not like a lot of constant input needed from the player. So board and card games do that pretty well. And I like to do things. I like to do things that are very colorful. Games that more platformy based things. Things that are very bright, expressive. So kind of like Nintendo kind of things. I like those a lot because they don't require a lot of. You don't have to follow along to anything. You're just kind of in that world, and it's bright and colorful and very inviting to somebody who's quite high. So I like Nintendo games too while high. Frank Castle says they are making a Quiet Place sequel. Yes, they are. I don't know how that will turn out, especially with the ending of that movie, but we'll see. I don't think it'll have a chance of being as good as the first one, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Roger Lodge did the show Blind Date. I know that show now. I now know Roger Lodge, and I find it curious that my voice sounds similar to that. And Michael is threatening me to go back to Infinite Jest again. I might. It is on my pile of shame. It is something I want to read. It is something I want to say that I've read more than I actually want to read it, so I can sound cool at parties. Like, oh, I've read Infinite Jest, and like, man, like the women will just go ripping their tops off. Guys will be, looking at me like Jordan Peterson. You read Infinite Jest, you might as well call yourself fucking Joe Rogan, because all the conserva bros are going to be coming for you. No, that's not true. Is David Foster Wallace, does he have any conservative fans out there? I know he used to. I know he used to have a conservative, this weird conservative fan base, which never made sense to me with his writing, but it's somehow resonated to those wackos. I hope that's no longer the case, because I know that's not what he is. And let's get back to the questions here. Carlos says, do I listen to Tame Impala? I don't think I've ever heard Tame Impala. And hello, Carlos, by the way. I get that, Michael. I get that. But man, they're still difficult to read. And Stray says, does the Spider-Man game interest you? Stray, I am an Insomniac bro from back in Spyro the Dragon days on PS1, dog. I could not be more excited for Spider-Man. I have got my pre-order ready. I got my PS4 Pro warmed up. Give me that Spider-Man. Love me, Spidey. Love me, Insomniac. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Boom. Anthony says, this guy is so underrated. If you're referring to me, thank you so much. That's very kind. If you're referring to somebody else, that's kind for you to say to them as well. Yes, that's the phrase that I wanted to say, Michael. But I find that word hard to say, to be entirely honest. It's my moist. That's a weird thing to say too. Mega64 says, going to bed now. Awesome, man. Have a good night. I'm sorry if I missed you. So great seeing you, man. So great talking to you. Looking forward to talking to you more soon. Good night, Mega. David Foster Wallace is definitely a liberal. I just know that he had a conservative fan base, which I always found incredibly odd, knowing David Foster Wallace politics. And I know Jordan Peterson is not a conservative. I know that. I just know he has a lot of conservative fans. I'm not a Jordan Peterson hater. I'm not a fan, but I'm not a hater. But I just know he has a lot of conservative fans out there. And that's so great that you read. Is it Gerardo? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I'm so sorry if that's the case. Gerardo. You read Dark Money? If you read it, I am so glad. That is so great. Oh, you have no idea how happy that makes me. I'm legitimately happy that makes me to see that somebody read that based on my recommendation. Anybody reading any, Dark Money, one more person reading that book is just one more educated person out there. My God. And is that book, if it was relevant when it was published, how much more relevant it is today and continues to be is mind-boggling because those people never went away. The Mercers and the Kochs, my God, they're still out there. And my God, are they still influential? And my God, is that money still rolling in? Dark Money, guys. Jane Mayer, journalist for The New Yorker. Dark Money, one of the, as I expressed in that Cherry on Top video, truly one of the few books that I would describe as a paradigm shifting. I knew about Dark Money before. I knew about the pernicious effect of, Dark Money and all that, but you don't understand its influence and you don't understand how pathological these guys are until you read Dark Money. Holy shit, you will think about the world in a different way having read that book. Danny LB said subbed. Thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate that. And Michael says, chat is going to be just you and me so we can get down to brass tacks. Man, I'd love to talk some philosophy and some DFW with you. I have so many interests. That's what part of the problem is. Man, I just love so many things. Like, love so many things, Like, I love things. Yes, and some of the right is nihilistic, for sure. And Andrew Dillon says, where in Tennessee are you from? I am from Knoxville, Tennessee, a nice little city. I like Knoxville. I do not like East Tennessee, but I do like Knoxville, even if I've said something contrary to that in the past. It is a nice city. It is a city on the upswing. It is growing, and there are a lot of encouraging signs coming out from it. But East Tennessee is a flaming trash heap, and it holds the whole state back. And it unfortunately, even the 3-4 big metropolises in the state of Tennessee, which are all lovely, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, are all very nice cities. And easy to recommend to live, especially a place, with family, if you have a family. Maybe not Nashville because it's so goddamn expensive now, from what I understand. But every other place in the state that isn't those places is toxic fucking waste. God damn. Ugh. All right. Black Mariner says, Dark Money is an awesome book. Oh, you read it too. Yes. Jetty has 3 Pax Pods also. Oh, I did not know Jetty also made Pax Pods. I used to do Jetty back in like 2016 when they first were coming out with cartridges, and I really liked Jetty back when it was a much smaller market. It was like Jetty, Brass Knuckles, and O-Pen, were some of the only ones out here in Long Beach for a long time, and I really liked Jetty back in the day. Sally O'Malley says, I'm ordering it now. Oh, that's so great. You'll really enjoy it. Yeah, it's just, it's a juggernaut of investigatory journalism. Oh, I love it. Love it. Oh my God. Michael, I am very curious now to see this Mencius mold bug. I don't even know what Mencius is. I thought it was mendacious when you first typed it out. That's the word. I know what that means. What is Mencius? I have a feeling it's going to be. Oh, he's a philosopher. Oh, okay. He's a philosopher. He's a Chinese philosopher. I did not know that. Carlos says, have I tried LSD? Twice now. Really enjoyed it both times. Although, oh, guys, I'm sorry. I have to message my spouse for a second. 1 second, guys. Okay, cool. Now back to the Chrome skis. Wait, he isn't. That isn't what it is. Oh no. Sorry. Oh, I didn't understand that, Michael. My bad. I didn't know what the name meant, and I still don't know how to pronounce it because, trying to pronounce anything in Mandarin is a goddamn trap for anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. I just didn't know what that who. I understood that it was a one thing, but I thought Mencius was a word or was a like an adjective or something, not a person. But this guy Mencius Moldbug is named after this dude, this philosopher that I don't know. Sally O'Malley, thank you so much for joining in. We're so glad you came. Thank you, and I really hope you enjoyed Dark Money, Sally. Let me know. I absolutely will, Carlos. Thank you for the recommendation. Let me go ahead and add that right now to done. On the list. Thank you. Oh, hell yes. Andrew Dillon, I have seen him. And what? He's doing the Lord's fucking work. Guy is doing the Lord's work. He needs to get his message out more. I would love to work with him in some way and helping him. I mean, not that I'm big, not that I have any reach, but like my small reach, I would love to help him get his word out because he is doing the Lord's fucking work. Good on him. Good on him. A+. Okay. Angeli, is that how we say it? We did, man. The whole brownie. Finished it off about 1 hour ago, and I am still on the ride up. I'd still say I'm somewhere in the 8s, but still going up. Hey, Joe, welcome. I don't know that one, Michael. Hector, I have all 3 of them reviewed. I have all 3 of the Delta 9s reviewed. Their espresso one, their salted caramel, and their milk chocolate. And they're all fucking incredible. I can tell you across the board, man, if you haven't seen my reviews, go watch them, please. I'd really appreciate you watching them. But I will give you a hint. Delta 9 is awesome. Awesome. You'll love them. Check them out. Really happy with Delta 9. So yes, I've reviewed all 3 of their 240 milligram chocolates, and they're all great, all worthy of recommendation. Okay. I am so sorry, but I need to get back to Gerardo's question, which is any more books you recommend, which is a question that I am delighted by. And that is, yes. Let me go ahead and give you my favorite nonfiction book I have ever read. It was something I did as a cherry on top, so I apologize if you've seen it. But it is something I've recommended to many people. It is something I will continue to recommend probably for the rest of my life. It is the single most optimistic piece of writing I've ever encountered. The thing that makes me most hopeful about humanity and humanity's future. It is a book called The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch, an Oxford professor of quantum physics, I think. Don't let that scare you in any way, shape, or form. I wouldn't say it's the most approachable reading. It's a little difficult to read at points. So there's some things that go down some rabbit holes, but you do not have to be scientifically literate to read it. Not at all. You just have to approach it with an open mind and maybe with a little bit more attention than like something you would find in like the pop science aisle. I'm not saying that pop science writing is bad. I love pop science writing. Yeah, it's just something it requires a little bit more from you. But this book, The Beginning of Infinity, is basically David Deutsch's argument that there is no problem that the human brain, when sufficiently gathered together and when allowed to flourish, so given the right circumstances to flourish, when enough people gather together, there is literally no problem that they sort of cannot not solve. And I know that sounds sort of like a trite, almost pat message, but it is not, because he in no way backs up his message with simple platitudes. He delves deep into why that this is the case. And why optimism is something we should both strive for as a society. We should be an optimistic species, and why we should foster things that create universal creativity. A metaphor he uses. Brilliant. Must check it out. The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch. Deutshe, something like that. I don't know. Love it. Carlos says, have I ever reviewed the Flav RX cartridges? I have reviewed one of them, and it was not my favorite. I did not hate it, but I have reviewed a lot better things. But the Flav RX cartridges are usually pretty affordable, which is one thing to consider. And they usually have a shit ton of strains and, varieties and all kinds of things. I will be reviewing, they're really heavily into the disposable joints model, which I've never even tried, which is something we're going to be doing in season 3, reviewing some of those disposable joints. And they have a ton of them. So we'll definitely be doing some of those, looking at those as well. I think they're a big player in that space. Oh man, Delta 9's cartridges are allegedly shady AF. That is really, really sad. That is really sad. Not only just because their chocolate's amazing and I love them for the fact of their chocolate, but because I see a lot of people recommending their cartridges to me. Like, people are often telling me to try their cartridges. I just haven't seen them yet to review them. But that's bad to know that many people are being, affected if, in fact, there's something shady going on there. Shatter Tank brand is the most consistent carts I've ever had. I will definitely check that out, Joe. Where do you find those, Joe? The Shatter Tank brand. I will check them out for sure. And then G Money says, do you receive free samples from any edible companies? Great question, and something I love to address often and bring this up as often as I can, because I think it's something good for everybody to know. I've actually received very few free things. I've turned down a lot of free things. I have not accepted many free things, but I haven't been offered I'm not getting 10 offers a day either or anything like that. The only time I have ever received an edible that I have reviewed was the Flourish CBD gummy, which I reviewed specifically because a lot of people wanted me to review a CBD gummy, and Flourish had asked me specifically to do so, and I made sure in that review to mention it 3 times that they had provided the product for me. So I have a background in journalism, and I just know how, not just that, but the YouTube is lousy, and especially, and sadly, the weed side of YouTube is just lousy with people with payola, good old fashioned payola, or shady quid pro quo shit. And it's bad. It's bad. And it's really does a disservice to anybody watching that stuff and anybody you're trying to educate. So I try to divorce that stuff as much as possible. Every product other than that Flourish CBD gummy that I reviewed, I've paid for out of pocket, totally out of my own pocket, which is the way I will continue to go for the foreseeable future. I won't say that I won't ever do another. I definitely wouldn't say I would never do another free product, something that somebody sends me and do a review on it. But if I do, you will definitely know about it. And many times I will let you know about it because I think it's crucially important that people know that that I may have some bias. Even though I don't think I would. I would try very hard not to. But it's important that people know that there might even be an appearance of a bias. I very genuinely, firmly believe that. And I think some of the most shady shit in journalism is the shit where somebody gets flown to a movie premiere in Maui and is, put up in the Four Seasons and then is told to review the latest Transformers movie. And then they might give it, a little bit more positive review than anybody. I don't, and they claim there was no bias, but when they don't disclose that shit, I find it very, very shady. Very shady. Sorry for that rant, guys. Thank you, Willy Wonka. I hope so. That would be great. That would be great. I wish I could deliver to you too, Steven. I wish I could get you, Mr. Zuniga. I hope Texas gets their shit together soon. Vote Beto O'Rourke. And maybe you guys will get on that recreational map soon enough. Cannabis-derived terpenes only. So many of the companies don't use terpenes that come from real cannabis plants. So true. Landon says, when are you going to eat the 1,000 milligrams? Landon, you missed it, dog. I finished the whole thing about an hour ago. I'm still getting higher from it. I'm still going up, but I finished it an hour ago, and it tasted really bad. You missed a lot of this. Oh, shit. God damn. Oh, what the you missed a lot of that. So I'm sorry you had to miss those Jim Carrey level facial contortions, but that's what you get for being late. Zephyr says, heavy hitters are my favorite brand. I love heavy hitters too, my boy. I think they're much better than Brass Knuckles. They're my third favorite brand behind Steezy and Orchid that I've tried so far. Really like heavy hitters. Hits hard, tastes clean, nice. And Andrew Dillon's going for this full spectrum oils from here on out only. Oh my God, I did not know that. Andrew Dillon, thank you again for letting me know. That is bad. I need to check out more of this guy's Instagram. Obviously, I'm not doing my due diligence. I do my due diligence at the time to check everything before reviewing it. But his stuff never comes up on Google search for his Instagram things. But just looking up, lab testing results, because most of these companies post, I guess, fabricated lab testing results or botched lab testing results. That seems like quite the scandal. Maybe somebody should be investigating into that. If you're out there, what is the weed magazine? High Times? Hey, man, I used to be a science writer. Wait, I still am. Hit me up. Thank you, Mr. High Hawk. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Tom S. Thank you so much. I appreciate the concern. Thanks for welcoming me back. And I really, really wish you could get there too, man. I hope your area of the world comes around soon and gets their head on straight and realizes that, it's a shit ton better than oxycodone or fentanyl. So, goddamn. I'm starting to become less articulate at this point, as my arguments are boiling down to largely just me going, goddamn. But that's what you get. So Michael says you should go all the way to the right. Politically speaking, far right is much better than other political opinions. That is an interesting opinion, a very interesting opinion. One I would be very interested to see argued in a sensible fashion, but one you are entitled to. When do you think the government will finally reschedule cannabis? The question, Willy Wonka, is will they ever? Because not to get too political here, Willy Wonka, but we don't. It's hard to know whether a left-leaning administration will ever be in charge of the Oval Office again, and that's the only way that cannabis will ever be rescheduled. Is if somebody of the opposite political persuasion who is currently in party would be in party in order to do it. But there are reasons to believe that may never be the case. But maybe I'll pause there. Josh says he's back and he's high as fuck. Welcome back. I'm glad you're high as fuck. I'm high AF too. And Steve Zuniga says, where am I from again? I am so sorry. I live in Long Beach, California, a suburb, a satellite city of Los Angeles. It's hard to call it. It's definitely not a suburb. It is, I guess, it's just a huge city right outside of Los Angeles. I mean, like half an hour outside of LA. It's a city of like 500,000. Love it. You've probably heard of it. Almost everybody has. All right. Mr. Hawk says, that's what you get. Ha ha. And I don't remember what that was in reference to. If you would post what that was in reference to, because I'm too high to, my short-term memory is certainly starting to be affected. So I can't remember what that was in reference to. I've seen you mention the insane sales tax numerous times. You should protest and only buy from one of the churches. Andrew Dillon, that's not such a bad idea. I will be completely 100% honest here. While I have patronized the legal dispensaries in Long Beach many times and purchased many products from them, when I go to purchase the stuff that I like to use, not, just not for Weeats, basically just any other fucking time, later tonight, I go get it from black market sources, because as much as I was on my high and mighty about I'll pay any kind of tax as long as it's legal and I can be a good Boy Scout, yada, yada. Not true, man. When you're paying that level of sales tax upon already higher prices that the dispensaries charges, plus that sales tax, I mean, you're talking a price discrepancy of literally plus, anywhere in the ballpark of plus 35 to 70% in price. For anything, for any product, not, flour, edibles, whatever, between the black market and the legal dispensaries, I would say 35 is on the very low end of the price discrepancy. And when you're also this, so I have still purchased a lot of stuff from black market sources, just because I'm a hypocrite, I guess. I'm sorry. And that's what I begin to do. I'm not, yes, very true, Andrew Dillon. Daniel says, what do I think about marijuana for teens? I think other than the cases where you're doing like CBD for, as like an anti-seizure medication, for epilepsy or, other truly medical purposes, I do not think teens should probably be doing weed. It's only one study, and you'd be foolish to base anything really off any one study. But there is a fairly convincing study out there suggesting that marijuana can impede's a harsh word, but can be somewhat detrimental to brain development to anybody less than the age of 25 even. So really, I don't think teens should be doing it. They're going to do it, obviously. I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not naive. So I think they should be able, I don't know. It's that double-edged sword. It's for their health, they shouldn't be doing it, obviously. But then again, nobody should be doing it for their health because, well, outside of, the large pool of people who legitimately need it for their health, but that's not the majority of people using weed. So I don't want to be a hypocrite there, but I don't know. I don't think teens should be doing it. I think they should wait till they're, in their 20s to start doing weed. I don't think they should be drinking. I definitely don't think they should be drinking either. I would much rather have a teenager smoking weed than drinking. I will say that for sure. That is definitely true. But I would rather have them do neither if that were the case. Because you don't want to fuck with your brain, right? I mean, you can fuck with a lot, just you don't want to mess with your brain. Plus, there are the studies, the correlation causation here, right? But the studies about weed and schizophrenia, and how there's definitely a correlation between young people using weed and schizophrenia arising, but it could be a chicken. It's very likely that they were likely driven to do weed because of their schizophrenia, not the other way around. But I know they're here and there. So Michael says, the question, Weeats, is, do we believe in evolution as outlined by Charles Darwin? Natural selection is occurring at all times. We either pursue eugenic ends or dysgenic ends. Untrue, Michael. That is not the way survival of the fittest or natural selection really works. That is a misconception. Survival of the fittest is a phrase that has been is a phrase that has been maladapted by people on the eugenics end of the spectrum to justify all kinds of horrendous shit. It is 100% the case that in social animals, social creatures protect those that are physically weaker than them for the good of the whole society. And that goes absolutely true for humanity. Just because on one metric, whatever metric it is that you use to judge people that you would use to determine whether they are worthy or not, whatever that metric is, doesn't mean that the other things that aren't measured by that metric wouldn't be more than beneficial and compensated by the people, the things the people that you do want are lacking. It's absurd to think that, actually. That's not how social animals evolve at all. That's never how successful social animals have evolved. Survival of the fittest for social animals refers to survival of the society, the whole, and that includes keeping individuals that some, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting way off topic. Michael says, you don't want to mess with your brain, says the man who just ate 1,000 milligram edibles. Good point and sick burn, but it shouldn't mess with my brain in any permanent way. That is the magic of weed. That is the truly magic wonder of weed. My brain should not be, I'm not killing brain cells. If anything, I'm going to open new neuronal pathways that I did not have open before. What I'm referring to in terms of like teenagers is simply it can impede brain development. It can retard brain development. And that is a wholly different thing than temporary chemical changes within the brain. Sorry to be pedantic. That was pedantic, but I'm sorry. Steven Zuniga says, oh shit, I missed it. I don't know. I don't know what you missed. And Andrew Dillon says, how old was I when I first smoked? I was 26, actually, when I first smoked. I was 26 years old. I promised myself I was never going to smoke weed until it was legal. And ironically, I broke that promise when California was the first state to vote on recreational weed back in like 2011 and voted it down. And I thought to myself, well, that's it. It's never going to be legal anywhere if California doesn't make it legal. I might as well smoke. So I smoked in East Tennessee then. And then sure enough, next year was when like, what was it? What states made it legal to begin with? Colorado and Washington made it legal. And I was like, oh, I was pleasantly very wrong. So, but I continued to smoke anyways. So I was 26, I think. Later, Willy Wonka. Have a good night, man. Hey, Michael, thank you so much, man. Oh, dude, you're so right. Guys, I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Pausing. I'm gonna go get a fresh drink. This drink is so warm. BRB. Come on, dogs. Let's go, dogs. Who was that recommended I take a sip of water? Oh my God. Mr. Hawk, thank you for recommending this. I really needed this. And thank you, Mr. Palmer, for your delicious concoction. Concoction. What a word. Oh, it's like blue-footed booby or kumquat. Oh, can you believe you can say kumquat? What the fuck kind of world do we live in? I can go around and go to a grocery store and ask a person for a kumquat and they won't look at me as if I'm some kind of deviant. They might even point me somewhere or hand me something. The word kumquat. It's a real word. And it's spelled in a really weird way. As it would have to be. All right. I might be too high for evolution, barely functional. I might have transcended evolution, and I might have hit the singularity. I am point the past of your petty biological evolutionary bullshit. What, Aaron? No, you don't, Aaron. Oh my God, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh my God, that's so nice of you. You don't have to give me money. That's so kind. I'm. Wow, thank you. Seriously, you don't have to give me money. I promise. No, dude, seriously, nobody has to give me money. It's not what it's very, 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 very generous, and I'm blown away. But like, wow, thank you. And I'm sorry, Aaron Brett. I have been completely absent for 3 months, and I have responded to no comments. I have not been alive on social media. I have done nothing. That is irresponsible and bad form. Bad form. I'm going to slap my hand as if I am a toddler reaching for a hot stove. And don't slap your toddler's hand reaching for a hot stove. Don't hit your kid, you fucking assholes. God damn. But yes, I'm sorry. I am sorry that I've been away, man. Thank you. I don't know, but I don't want money. Sorry, what was I saying before? So if our senses evolved as a means to survive in the physical realm, how can we know that our senses are interpreting is it actually reflective of the world around us? Michael, your senses are definitely not reflective of the world around you. We do not live in anything that looks like what would be considered objective reality, right? I mean, everything that a human is filtered through so many bizarro, weirdo I mean, like, your 5 senses, LOL. You're not. You're many more sensors than 5. That's all they teach you in whatever grade school. But yeah, there's no fucking way that those 5 senses can come close. Those 5 very, very limited senses, because your eyesight isn't. You're limited to a certain spectrum of color that you can see. A shrimp can see like 10 times the amount of color. Ah, man, thank you. God, thank you so much. That's really kind, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. So, wow. Why I'm totally lost where I was. Why do I never feel like this when I'm high? Lost? Ooh, Lost. Has there ever been a show like Lost? Will there ever be a show like Lost again? Lost was an objective disappointment in the end, I think, for me. But goddamn, there was never really anything else like it in terms of, I remember I would organize groups for group watches, and we'd get excited and we'd talk about it, and it's just, Westworld might be the closest thing, or I mean, guess Game of Thrones too. Game of Thrones, I forgot about that. That would be it. But Lost still felt different somehow. That was a real, wow, left turn there, and I think I made a right turn with my hand. Francis says, "Can I go for 2,000 milligrams for 10? When we hit 10,000, I'll do 2,000. How about that? When we hit 10,000, I'll do 2,000. That's the deal. Barely Functional says, "Who doesn't want money?" And that is somebody who was raised to believe that they are objectively worthless. And then Musu made a nice joke, and Andrew Dillon says, "What brought you out west?" And that was Andrew Dillon. What brought me out west was wanting to escape East Tennessee, and wanting to live in a place with just a better. I don't know. East Tennessee is a not, as I said before, Knoxville is not a terrible place. Knoxville is actually a very charming little city, but otherwise, man, there are just some really bad people there. Just a lot of garbage human beings, which is bad to say. I know you're not supposed to really, typify a whole group like that. But man, I grew up with all the, with some of the worst of them, and they're just garbage people, man, and they just bring you down with them. And I wanted to be in a place with people who have a more pleasant outlook on humanity. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Cool. Cynthia Glenn says, compare the quality of high you're getting from this as compared to, say, a Canago, my all-time faves. Cynthia, I would say right now I am equivalent to about what you would consider about a 500 milligram Canaco, in that range. For me, when I do edibles, I don't really have, very rarely do I have things in terms of highs that I would determine as like different kinds of highs. When I do edibles, it's usually just a very vanilla, generic, overall stoned feeling. And so even low quality edibles, as long as they have sufficient THC, will make me feel still pleasantly high. So like, even though this is nowhere near as good in quality in terms of things like ingredients or, even the THC is, it's not 1,000 milligrams in here. I don't think it's 1,000 milligrams in here. To be honest, it's not. It's definitely 500 or over. But I'd say it's about a 500, equivalent to a 500 milligram Canaco, which is nothing to sneeze at. 500 milligram Canacos put me on my ass to this day, as this is doing. I don't want to do this as a slam to enjoyable edibles. But this is not nearly as good as a say a Corova. They're black bars. It's not in the same league really as that. But it got me sufficiently stoned. But again, I enjoyable edibles would not be my first brand. But seeing as how they're one of the last few large scale, somewhat reliable black market brands that do over 100 milligrams, maybe you got to go with what you got. I don't know. What? That Radiolab story is bullshit? I didn't know that, Michael. Andrew, I do feel that there is a difference between an edible high and a high from flower, even at equivalent levels. That is one high I would differentiate. I don't know. I wouldn't say the edible high is more psychedelic in any way. In some ways, it may be a little less psychedelic equivalently for me. I don't know. It's a more of a mellow feeling for me than they just doing flour. So like an equivalent amount of flour or any other concentrate or whatever. Edibles do. It is a little bit different for me than other inhalants, I guess, which is a weird way to describe them. Where were we? Nothing beats the taste of Canaco, says Cynthia Glenn. I can get 4 awesome soaring highs out of 1 Canaco products. High five, high five, high five. Totally agree with you. Love Canaco. It is really, it is bittersweet. That's how we'll describe it. That they're going totally legit because they seem to have all their shit together for the new regulations. So bittersweet in that it seems like they're doing well and that they might be competing, with the big boys and have their shit together. But a little bitter in that it means we will never get there, 500s or thousands ever again, unfortunately. All right. And Michael says, you must finish reading Infinite Jest so you can understand the false god that is hedonism. Chasing pleasure, weed, video games, dopamine-related activities is a pathway to despair. Well, isn't that a very DFW-style argument? That there is merit to that argument. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. But that is not a universal truth, not in any way, shape, or form. It's all about where you feel like you, in some ways, can contribute or some sense of meaningfulness, and pleasure activities don't necessarily give life meaningfulness, but they absolutely can, and that's a very important thing. Like, in some way, I would say doing Weeats gives my, while it's a hedonistic activity, sure, doing edibles as often as I do, for absolutely sure, but at the same time, having this structure and being able to like share this information with people gives it meaning, and or gives it meaning to me at least, gives it a reason, gives it a even if it's a false narrative, even if it's one I'm creating in my own head, it gives me a reason for doing this, a justification for it, and one that I derive purpose from. So I do. I don't completely refute your point, because there is merit to that argument that chasing pleasure or vices will inherently just lead to dissatisfaction. But that's not, if you give meaning to the pleasure, that is not the case, or I think so, at least. And maybe David Foster Wallace was wrong because he killed himself. Maybe. But also very cruel joke. Also, that movie about him is really good, with Jesse Eisenberg and the big guy, Jason Segel, End of the Tour. It's good. It's good. You should watch it. That director is really good, except he did one big movie that's terrible, but his two movies before that, The Spectacular Now and Smashed, are both really good. So Andrew said, is there a brand of pre-packaged flower that I like? Team Genetic is the best. Multiple cannabis cup wins. I have never tried Team Elite Genetics, but I will now absolutely be on the lookout for it. Thank you. And in terms of prepackaged weed, I am loyal to none. I have no favorite growers. I barely notice, what farm or the pack. I mean, when it's something borderline ostentatious like this Corova packaging, I mean, I love Corova and their cool packaging. I love cool packaging, but goddamn, is this a little excessive? Because this isn't cheap. Yeah, so I don't have a particular favorite, no. So Michael says, my meaning comes from a desire to will myself to greatness, pursuit of improvement and perfection, also a false narrative, but at least in its pursuit, I will gain social dominance. And a tour? And I say to you, Michael, I say, I hope you find your inner John Galt. I hope you find him. End of tour. Right wing view of the world. Dis7 says, am I ever going to try Kingpin cartridges? Yes, sir, Dis7. They are absolutely on the list. Time for a quick plug. Weeats Season 3 coming again, guys. Coming at you again in October of this year. And we'll be doing new cartridges, new things, new edibles, all that jammy jams. And Kingpin is on the list. Just have to find it first. It's been surprisingly tough to track down in my neck of the woods for as popular as they are. And then Michael says, hell yeah. Hell yeah to what, Michael? The End of the Tour movie? It's good. You should watch it. You'll like it. You'll learn something. I doubt it. You seem to know your David Foster Wallace. Okay. Oh, guys, let me do my trick. Let me do my trick. Hands up here. Somebody in the chat, give me a movie that has come out since 2001 that has made around 50 million or more dollars at the box office, and I will give you the year it came out. Michael says, predictably, he says American History X. I think, Michael, if I'm not mistaken, I'm probably wrong, but I think American History X is before my cutoff and does not meet my box office requirements. So that one is disqualified. How high? Similar situation. Did not make that enough money. LOL. Bro, this guy is high. Give me some movies that fit my criteria. Hey, PGJ, welcome. Hey, Matthew, no problem, man. Batman Begins is an easy one, Zach. Batman Begins came out. I'll give you the month and the year, and that is June 2005. Let's go June. No, sorry. Wait. Yes, June 2005. Batman Begins is June 2005. Final answer. Look it up. Look it up. Somebody look it up. I'm trying not to touch my keyboard. Eyes wide shut before the cutoff, man. And before. All right. Okay. Tron. Are you talking about the most recent Tron? Wait, did I get? Hold on. Okay, hold on with the recommendations for 1 second. Pause recommendations. 1 second. Pause for 1 second. We'll get back to them because I need to go through all of these. But I need to know if somebody looked up. Did I get Batman Begins right? Great one, Michael. Very on the nose, actually. Is Batman Begins June? My promise is only the year. But I was going to try to give you the month. Batman Begins. Is it June 2005? Has somebody looked this up yet? While we're paused. My hands are in the air, Lakeshore Brewery. Your goddamn hands are supposed to be on the keyboards looking this shit up. This is how I'm supposed to tell you I'm not Googling. Disc 7, Superbad. I can tell you when it is. Fuck yes, got that one right. Okay, what was next on the list? Okay, next on the list was Tron, right? Tron is December. I don't have to give you the month, but I'm just giving it to you just in case. It's December 2000. Fuck. Oh, God, Tron. When is it? December 2000. Tron is December 2011? I know that's not right. Oh, God. Okay. I'm just scrolling up to see what the next one was. Look, one-handed. Okay. Spider-Man was the next one. Spider-Man's easy. Spider-Man's an easy one. Spider-Man 1 came out May 2nd, we'll say, 2002. May 2nd, 2002. Look up Spider-Man and Tron. Tron, I guessed, what was it? December 2012 is what I guessed for Tron, which is wrong. I'm embarrassed. And then I guessed, oh no, I know Spider-Man, I'm going to guess is May 2nd, 2002. And then the next one was The Simpsons. The Simpsons movie is definitely August of 2007. The Simpsons movie is definitely August of 2007. Let me think. Was it the same year as? I'm going to say 2007. Okay. All right. You guys aren't checking these answers for me. Spotlight. Spotlight is December or November, depending if you go with the festival or like theatrical release date is December or November of 2016. Oh, I was off by Spider-Man by only 1 day, guys. I got Spider-Man within 1 day. You got us. Come on, guys. Come on. Spider-Man within 1 day. It was 2015. Damn it, I was off by. Come on, guys. I'm sorry. Give me another. Give me one more. Oh, wait, Superbad. Somebody said Superbad. Superbad is August. Superbad is August of 2000. Is August of 2007. Superbad is August of 2007. Hey, Michael, I don't need to read no Joseph Conrad because this bitch already got a Heart of Darkness. Woo! Oh, Joseph Campbell. I think it's Conrad. Oh, I'm high. I am high as shit, and I'm messing up my Campbells and Conrads. What is this? A turn of the 20th century fucking goddamn robber baron party? Woo! What you high off, says David? I'm high off. Enjoyable edibles. 1,000. Guys, I keep fucking this up. Here's what I'm high off of. 1,000 milligram blackout brownie. Blah, 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 blah. I've changed my setup. I'm actually I'm at a different spot than I've ever been in Weeats HQ before. I'm broadcasting from my Mac, which I've never broadcast from before. I've always broadcast from the PC side. But now I'm broadcasting from the Mac, and I keep looking into my Mac, but the camera is not on the Mac, and it's just confusing to everybody. And I'm sorry. And that's why I keep like pointing like things at when I keep pointing at my stupid laptop instead of pointing at the camera. And Fear the Beard, I am high off life, sir. Steve says, let me get $15. Dog, I got $15. Michael, we couldn't debate the merits of eugenics today. Shucks. May we never have that conversation. Darren says, I need a nice walk. Oh, goddamn. You know how great a walk would be with some music right now? Put in those earbuds and just be like, wait, I don't listen to music that makes you do this. And I don't know if I've ever done that in my life until that moment. Actually, the only time I've ever moved my shoulders, I think, is when I've simulated dancing or pantomimed dancing. I don't think when I've really danced, I've done this thing. Cars 2. Oh, Cars 2 is a tricky one. Ooh, shit. Cars 2 is an actual tricky one. Because it came out significantly after the first Cars. And then Cars 3 came out shortly thereafter. It's June or July, Cars 2. But what year? I don't know. Is it the year after? I'm going to say Cars 2, June 2011. I'm going to say it was their one after Toy Story 3. But I don't know that, actually. That's the biggest stumper. That's a stumper. Cars 2 is a stumper. I'll give you that one. So walk or pizza? Oh my God, what a choice. That is in fact Sophie's choice. If somebody said, somebody put a gun right up to a walk or a pizza and said, only one of these is surviving this night, you're either going to have a pleasant walk or you're going to enjoy a goddamn DiGiorno. Motherfucker, you can only have one. Which do you choose? Call me Meryl Streep, because was Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice? I think. I've never seen it. And I don't know who she chooses. But I know who I choose. But I'll never tell. A walk. Okay. Michael says, pull up some Zurius aesthetic, very good stone music. I appreciate the recommendation. I will actually do that. I will, as soon as I get off here, I will pull that up because I'm looking forward to some oral, not oral, guys. Aural, AURRALLYEIE, stimulation, not oral, ORAL. Is that all the O's and R's and A's and L's? Is that the? That must be. And then you will give up your right-wing beliefs forever. Michael, I have a feeling, one, I think Trolls 2 was the best answer of the night. And two, I have a suspicion about who you might be IRL, but I'll never say. And June 2011. You're right. Yes. Yes. Da, 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 na, 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 na. Oh, wow. Okay. Steve Zinga says the Cat in the Hat movie is November 2001 or November 2002. Oh, it's November. I'm going November 2001 for Cat in the Hat movie. Oh, and Dis7 says best snack to eat while high. The best snack to eat while high is not the best food to eat while high, which I would contend is a very important distinction and worthy of some discussion, perhaps. I don't know. But best snack when high, man, I really like, Jesus, that's another stumper of a question, because I originally went to something salty, and then I was like, well, I get tired of salty. And then I was like, well, then you want something chocolatey, and then you're like, well, that'll get you, you get tired of chocolate really quickly. So then I was like, oh, you know what you never get tired of? Gummy worms. But then I was like, oh, after, a half dozen gummy worms, I'm really craving something salty. But you can have too much salt. That's when I'm thinking about chocolate. But then I'm thinking about, how much chocolate, and you get the dookie squirts. And then after that, after a while, you're like, oh man, I could really use some refreshing gummy snacks. But then the gummy snacks aren't as satisfying as you like. You eat a little bit of them and they're really too sugary and too sweet and too intense. And you're like, I could use something really salty and, kind of crunchy to wash this down. Wow. Oh, damn it. I was off by 2 years. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about the Cat in the Hat. Damn. 2 years. That one's embarrassing. What can I say? I'm a failure. Now, it's a trick. I mean, it's weird, sure, but it's also kind of a trick because I'm really relying on you not remembering movies that fit my only relying on you remembering the huge movies that came out in that time frame and not the sort of smaller ones that fit my criteria. And while most people probably don't know when Spider-Man 1 came out, most people could get within a couple of years. But, it's just really more of like a parlor trick by like saying like, oh, I could do it with these such specific parameters. You're really only going to pick from probably like 50 movies or something, not the, certainly hundreds, if not maybe thousands of movies. No, not thousands, hundreds for sure. Movies that could fit that criteria that have come out since that time frame. Rude says, how was the edible? And it was good. It was good. It wasn't my favorite 1,000 milligram edible I've ever had. Those still go to the Corova black bars out there in the world, with the asterisk that I never managed to actually try a Canico 1,000 milligrammer. But it was not bad. I'm very high. I think it got me to about an 8.5. I think I've sort of plateaued there. Maybe we'll have some tremors here and there to higher levels, but we'll see. But overall, I'd say it was a decent edible. Maybe worth the money at $40. But I don't feel totally ripped off, especially in this black market era of high potency edibles. And then Michael says, have I ever heard of Yukio Mishima? And the answer is no. I will look him up right now, though. So Barely Functional, they were, when they were still available, I think they are well and truly gone at this point. I mean, at least in the easily accessible black market, they're gone. But they did range from, I'd seen them priced anywhere from as low as $35, which was a crazy deal, up to, I've seen them priced as high as, like 70, but that was an outlier. But I'd say they normally range around 40 to 50, more closer to 50. Wait, was he the guy who like rammed somebody with a katana on stage? Oh no. But why is that? Why does that mean? Why is that? It seems to me the Japanese getting their military back right after World War II would be a very bad thing. And I'm not sure why that would be something that the guy should be considered a badass for. Military coups are generally bad things. I think, right? We still consider... I don't know what I'm talking about, though. Okay. By we, you mean the denizens of the alt-right? Is that why, Michael? Bring back Imperial Japan. The Emperor's still there. He's just waiting, dog. He's just waiting, right? The Emperor's still there. Oh, no, Brent, no, that's not true. You've just come in. Oh, Matthew Donga, welcome. I have eaten the whole bar about 2 hours ago now. I am so high right now. I would say recapping about an 8.5. Maybe a plateaued in that area. I don't know if you know this, Matthew, being new, but I have something of an abnormal tolerance for marijuana, THC in particular. Something of some people have somehow described it as freakish on occasion, or disgusting, or sinful, or disturbing, or righteous, or pretty bitchin', or totally cool, man. All right, Michael. I'll do that, man. I will do that. And no, what I ate, Brent, was I ate a 1,000 milligram blackout brownie. I looked I put quite a bit of effort. I put more effort into that than I put into really anything I put into over the last 3 months. I looked for another Corova Black bar, but was coming up bone dry. I had a couple of false positives, which, let me tell you, that is a disappointment. That is a real heartbreaker when you go somewhere that has advertised Corova Black bars in Santa Ana, and then they tell you, they haven't actually had those for 3 months. Then you think to yourself, well, why is it on your website? Especially if it's been 3 months, you know? Oh, my lighting's all messed up. Would you guys like a little bit better lighting? Although, guys, I think I am... I have tried Pete's Treats. I have not done a review of them, Brent, but I do think the Pete's Treats are better than the Enjoyable edibles. I'll give you that piece of advice. Enjoy can be okay. They actually have some decent products, but they're not 100% consistent, and their goldfish taste like dog poo-poo. Their goldfish are probably the worst tasting edible I've reviewed. One of the worst tasting, easily the top 3 worst tasting edibles I've ever had. So that's another strike. Yes, they do, Cynthia. And Brent, you're right. Yes. I totally agree. I wish, Brent, they had not besmirched the name of the Black Bar. I wish they had not taken the name of the Black Bar and then besmirched its legacy by putting on this 100 milligram piddly nonsense. Just let that retire in its majesty and its legend. Let it go out like Quaaludes or something. Just like well, that's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Like, people have been talking about the Black Bar for years. Oh man, you missed the great days when you could have gone down to the fucking dispensary and got a 1,000 milligram Black Bar from Corova. Ugh. Thanks, Brent. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, and Brent Duncan, you are right. It is the worst. The worst edible. There are some contenders out there that have recently hit it for me, but the 5150 bar is so bad. The salted caramel bar is so beguilingly bad because everything else from Corova is so relatively good. Everything else is so comparatively decent. Like, their 250 milligram cookies don't taste like dog shit and still hit really hard. But somehow, and the other 500 milligram edibles they taste 500 milligram edibles, but they are, but they're not revolting. I did it every time I had one, and I tried it 3 times. I mentioned in my review, I tried it twice before, just to make sure I wasn't screwing up, like I hadn't got a bad batch. No, it's just that gross. I rant about it all the time. It literally makes me gag. Literally makes me gag. All right, guys. I think I am going to have to take a break. If you see behind me, I've got a little bit of an upset border collie who might need to go take a deuce. My voice is also starting to give away. I've also had these hot lights on my carpet for a while, so they might, spontaneously burst into flames because I've been too lazy to raise them back up. But I'm going to turn those off. I'm going to take my dogs out for dumps, and then I'm going to check back in with you guys way more often until we get Weeats Season 3 launched coming this October. But we'll be checking in with you with more live streams before then. I'll be checking in on social media, and there may be some reviews between here and there, but we'll have some new stuff up, a fresh format, some fresh, hopefully a fresh logo, some fresh banners, things that might actually be relevant now. Hopefully all that's coming with Season 3. I have seen that movie, Brent, and it is really good. And I appreciate the recommendation, though. It is a movie about music. And guys, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been a blast. Sorry, I have to bounce. Voice is killing me. Dogs need to take a shit. Take care, everyone. It's been so much fun. Good night.